Adam's running a little late, so we'll be starting shortly.
Got one of these for you too, right?
Oh shit, I went the wrong way.
Go ahead. I'm gonna do an intro.
Oh yeah, you're on the front.
Ski. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Awesemo.com NBA Deeper Dive presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. I'm Dave Loughran at Laffy_D, joined by, well, nobody right now, joined by Jordan Klein. What's up, Jordan? How you feeling, brother? See, that's where the producer cam should come in as Adam stumbles back to his chair. I thought you said you knew me. You said pre-show, you're like, yeah, I know you. You won't have to cue me in on anything. And 30 seconds into the show, there you are. Okay, there we go. I got you. How you doing, Jordan? And he's muted. I'm with Adam Scherer at Ship My Money DFS, just making his way back now. I mean, cut it. You didn't cut it close. You just cut it late. How you doing?
I just said fuck it, man. That's kind of what you got to do sometimes.
We got 3 games to talk about today. Happy to have all of you guys with us. As always, hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. We love all you out here. It helps us. You got to play the games, you know? Feed the algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Soon we're hitting 100K and we're going to throw a huge party for everyone. I don't know how, but we're going to do something good. So let's get us there. Hit the thumbs up and let's hang out, talk some NBA DFS, win some money tonight. All right. Where is that? Where is that? Somebody's treasure words. Yo, Dave, can you tell my fiance Ashley how amazing she is? I don't know your fiance Ashley. I'm sure she's a great person, but I don't know her yet. I see.
I'm reading chat now. Is this the first time that Jordan has actually cut to like both of us at the beginning?
No, he always. What do you mean?
Normally it's you lead us in.
Yeah.
And I'm like ignoring everything you say.
Yeah.
And then this time I'm pretty sure that it was just the two of us and I wasn't there.
No, he went to a single screen and then I asked to bring himself in, but he probably went to your empty chair. So,
oh yeah, well that's good.
I don't know. We got 3 games though, so let's make it happen. And of course, Live Before Lock comes up after this, taking you up till 7:30. I think we got the post lock show, Yahoo Fantasy post lock show, breaking down Yahoo ownership and all that fun stuff. Yes, we do. 30 minutes after. So hang out with those guys once this is wrapped up. Adam, first thoughts on this one. You've got no DeAndre Ayton again. There's actually some huge news here and some stuff pending as well, because you've got obviously no Domantas Sabonis. Miles Turner's out for a prolonged period of time, but Brogdon might be out as well. And that's the Lone Island 10 o'clock game.
Yeah, the entire Pacers game is weird because, like, we kind of assumed, like, so we know Sabonis is out. We kind of assumed that Brogdon would probably rest, but then they threw LeVert on the injury report too with the Q tag, and me and Greg kind of were talking about it on Twitter. Like, Greg is normally the one that is really like everybody's going to sit, nobody's ever going to play on a back-to-back kind of thing. And I'm normally like, yeah, we'll wait for the injury report. But them throwing LeVert on the injury report is weird because it's like that might be them just being like, yeah, we're just going to like rest everybody, but we didn't want fines or whatever. So the Indiana game at the end of the night is really weird, but I think that it'll be good to talk about because there's a lot of strategy that you can do like late swap wise to get to it.
All right. What do you have a claw, white claw? What are you doing?
Yeah, white claw.
Oh, okay. I thought they were talking about mine. This ain't the claw. This is the high noon.
You got the high noon, I know.
It's delicious, man. They are fantastic. All right, let's dive into it. First question, as I always ask, as far as builds go, we have enough news to know that there's going to be some value. And do we have an update on ownership yet? Let me see. Yes, 2 minutes. Boom. Okay, we do. So we got an update on ownership. That's going to be interesting to see where some of these bigs settle in as far as those projections go. But you've got no Ayton either. So there are going to be, a few cheap options, Adam, that pop up. Can we go with a pretty comfortable stars and scrubs build? What are we looking at this afternoon or
I think you can. And a big reason is that, like, right now, I think you can has new stands right now, but there's the potential that you get an entire Indiana scrubs team, basically. So I think there's actually a lot of advantage to building out a stars and scrubs lineup and then assuming that you're going to get news that allows you to, like, swap to what you want. If you don't, like, that kind of sucks. But I think on a slate like this, the way you handle the Indiana potential news is actually a really big deal. And I think that you get an edge by assuming that at least one, if not both, of LeVert and Brogdon are going to sit.
All right, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, we couldn't have been more wrong about Jalen Smith last game.
Yeah, could not have been more wrong.
Well, we could have been more wrong. He could have played 0 minutes instead of 2 minutes.
Oh, he played 2? That's good.
Oh, yeah, he got 2 minutes. Yeah, he sure did.
There was, I don't even remember how that night ended up for me, but there was a very long time where I had a very, very good team with Jalen Smith at power forward.
Oh, God. Yeah, and then, because that was a late, that was a late game, right? So, no, it was like an 8.
It was late enough.
Yeah, right.
But there was no announcement like Jalen Smith isn't going to be the backup center tonight.
No, it was Bismack Biyombo. So I don't really think there's any better place to start than at the center position because you're getting a lot of ownership there. JaVale McGee obviously pulling a lot, but Biyombo is now the same price on DraftKings as JaVale McGee. So that says a lot.
Yeah, which is kind of absurd. So the way I talked about it with Greg this morning, like as long as McGee starts, which there's no real reason to think he isn't, I think McGee is clearly the best option still. He's going to play like 24 minutes. He's a 1.3 to 1.35 fantasy point per minute guy. He looks great, like one or the other. Where it gets interesting to me is that if they run the same rotation where they basically split 48 minutes between McGee and Biyombo, you're getting Biyombo's like a 1.2 point per minute guy in 100 minutes this year. In general, you can still call him like a 0.8 to 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy. They would both look really good. The issue is that if Jalen Smith moves back into the rotation, then you potentially have Biyombo losing minutes. But I think the way it looks now, like McGee looks fantastic. Biyombo still looks good. And then you're basically just hoping that Jalen Smith doesn't play.
Is there any, we talked about last time, this is what's kind of funny about this. The approach that we had wasn't even wrong in the sense that, hey, you can play McGee and you can play Smith. Obviously, we were wrong about Smith, but the approach in the sense of, because it was a short slate, if these guys split 48 minutes, both of them being quality fantasy point per minute guys, that could get you where you need to go. And JaVale McGee played 23, had one of his worst games from a per minute standpoint that we've seen all season. Biyombo went nuclear off the bench. Like, is there an argument to be made in assuming, like, because I don't really know right now that Jalen Smith doesn't really play, that you could on a 3-game slate play JaVale McGee and Biyombo at 4K in the same lineup? But and let me just say real quick, the one differentiator is that Jalen Smith had power forward eligibility and Biyombo doesn't.
I still think you can, because the thing that's weird about this slate is that there's not really an opportunity cost at center. When you look at the teams that play, like you have Joe Val, and you have the Knicks guys, but like Mitchell Robinson is not a super high upside guy. Porzingis is a power forward. Kleba's a power forward. We don't know who the hell's starting at center for Indiana. You have Looney, but then everything else is a power forward basically. So on this particular slate, I think you actually can make a pretty good case for going with McGee and Biyombo. The only thing that like potentially ruins that is that if they go back to Jalen Smith playing, let's say Jalen Smith even plays 8 minutes, you're probably talking like 24 for McGee, you're talking 16 for Biyombo, 8 for Smith. That ruins everything. But if we get the same rotation, then I really think they're fine together.
What's Biyombo's ownership today? It can't be that high, right? We got him at like 12%.
Like 4% earlier.
Yeah, we got him at 12 now, but for a 3-gamer, that's still low.
Yeah. And I mean, like, so there's 2 ways you can approach that, and both are good, I think. For one, McGee is at 40%. Biyombo is at, what did you say, 12?
Yeah, 11.9.
Yeah. So for one, you could just make the case where you're just like, okay, well, I think that there's greater than, a 1 in 4 chance that McGee gets in foul trouble or whatever, and Biyombo plays more. But I think the better way to handle it, given this slate and the lack of opportunity cost of the position, is just to say, okay, well, people aren't going to play them together, and I can get 48 minutes if they run the same rotation, 48 minutes for 8K of Phoenix centers.
Yeah, it's a good point. 233 likes already. All right, doing big things around here. Jordan, we're hitting, I don't know, 700 tonight, I think. Seems like a reasonable 700 likes tonight. The 5:30 shows, Adam, always do well. We come in a little bit late. You come in from the bar, and we.
Yeah, I was to say, if we're gonna have Jordan on cam, he needs to at least be like chugging some vodka.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then you're just gonna have like me talking, but he'll leave your screen on the whole time for like 6 straight minutes.
It's a Thursday show, man. Like, it's college. Who doesn't drink?
Yeah, it's true. Thursday. The Jordan, the OG Awesemo people, it wasn't even that long ago. It was last year. Remember the Jordan Christmas show? That's how a lot of people know him.
I saw more than one comment the first night that we had the producer cam being like, oh, the last time I saw Jordan, he was
blacked out,
drinking so much vodka I thought he might get fired.
But he wasn't producing, so he could do whatever he wanted. Oh wait, maybe I don't know. Yeah,
Somebody said chugging vodka. Who chugs vodka? Jordan Klein chugs vodka.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You were. What was it? A full bottle of Kettle?
I was producing. I chugged a whole bottle of Kettle. Yeah, a fifth of it before. It was before 9 a.m.
He was on the West Coast, and there was an 11 a.m.
Somebody said show. Jordan almost got canceled by Lofty. That's how you know it's bad, when Lofty's like, get off the screen.
and I won't cancel anybody.
Right. Like Lofty won't cancel anybody, but he'll start like mildly hinting like you should talk less or you should like not be on camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, he started saying like, fuck everybody from Wisconsin, and I hate those people. Didn't you sleep for like 24 straight hours?
No, I slept. I fell asleep right after, and I woke up and I lost some friendships, and I did lose a couple friendships that day, but it was all good. It was worth it.
You can't, man. They weren't friends. I've done some dumb shit. They're still friends. They just view me with a more skeptical eye.
Right. Like you might not get invited everywhere anymore, but they're still your friend.
Yeah.
With Phoenix, though, outside of the center position, which I think is obviously it's a critical part to this entire slate. Look at that. We just slide right back into the analysis. That's why you got to tune into the deeper dive. You've got Booker, Chris Paul, Bridges, Cam Johnson's been back. It's not really a team that we ever get to all that often. It's a 3-game slate today, and you've got somebody like Devin Booker pulling a lot of ownership. Chris Paul's pretty popular as well. So our options are clearly limited in this one. And it should be a competitive game. 2.5-point spread, Phoenix favored.
Yeah, it's weird because like on a normal slate, Phoenix Dallas would kind of just be like, yeah, whatever, play the obvious guys and move on. But on this slate, it's kind of the probably the best game. Like it's two good enough teams. It has a 217 total, I think. You have Booker that is really cheap everywhere. He's 8,300 on DraftKings. He's 9K on FanDuel. He was in my tournaments video on both sites, but he's just going to play a lot of minutes. He gets a little bit of a usage bump without DeAndre Ayton. And I think Chris Paul's a really good play. I always just kind of prefer Booker when ownership is similar because Booker is capable at least of giving you like that 40 to 50 raw point game where he just like scores 60 fantasy points. Paul has like a 19% usage rate when Booker plays. So Paul can do, a lot in terms of assists and a well-rounded stat line, but Booker to me has the higher ceiling and they're pretty close in price right now.
We're hitting a couple super chats here. Adam Palmer, man, God bless Terrence Davis. Who are the lock players tonight from Sig Homie Cow? I think, first of all, how much hinges on Malcolm Brogdon's status for you?
The entire slate.
Okay. And that's a problem, right? Like
it is.
That's a big problem.
It's a problem in that it's really, really, really annoying. It also creates like as big of an edge as you're probably going to get in NBA DFS these days. Because you can like create your entire night around that news and then swap around it. And on like a bigger slate, it wouldn't matter that much. But tonight, like it's going to be the entire thing is what do the Pacers do?
Yeah, and we'll get to that game. I'm going to leave us plenty of time to get there. Are there any, let me just kind of pivot for a second. Are there any ways that we can kind of, if you're hand building or if you're crunching, Adam, are there any ways to actually prepare ourselves for this, to put ourselves in a position to make good swaps going into it if Brogdon sits?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about it now or talk about it at the
yeah, we can talk about it at the end. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, but as long as I think that's probably more important than even talking about what players are good plays tonight. Right. So yeah, we'll get
like I think the strategy part of the Pacers is probably more important than anything we're going to say beforehand.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. Do you want to wrap up Phoenix if you have anything else on the Suns?
Not a whole lot else. I mean, it's a 3-game slate, so Cameron Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Payne, Jay Crowder, they're all fine. But I think Booker stands out, and then the center position is clearly at the top of the list. And for someone in chat, I'm not sure if I said there was no opportunity cost. There's very little opportunity cost. Like, there's no Jokic, there's no Towns, there's no Nurkic, there's Joe Val, and then a bunch of cheap guys, basically.
Dallas. How about this? We got Luka Doncic pulling the highest ownership on this slate, which is free today. Ownership projections entirely free at Awesemo.com. You do not have to pay for them. You do not have to sign up, anything like that. Just head over, go to the NBA tab on the drop down, and you'll see ownership projections for the main slate. We got you. NHL projections free as well. And if you wanted to check out everything else, we have Awesemo.com/join, all of our tools, ownership, player projections, boom bust tool, top stack, lineup builder, you name it. You can get the Fantasy Cruncher add-on. All of our tools created by Alex Baker, built by Alex Baker himself. Fellas won a lot of money using these tools. So have everyone you see in our Awesemo Hall of Fame segment coming up later on in the show. So check it out if you want to. Awesemo.com/join. You got weekly express. You can do monthly. If you want to make a real legitimate investment into this, you can go for the year. You can do one sport, all sports, whatever you want, and the Fantasy Cruncher add-on or not. Check it out. Join the club and join the family around here and hop in our premium Discord. Great community on top of the premium office hours where you get the pros answering your questions and helping you better your game each and every day. Awesemo.com/join. We'll see you over there. Oh, and if you have any questions about it, hit me up. My DMs are open on Twitter. All right. On the Dallas side, Luka Doncic has really Steph Curry is the only other legit top tier player on this slate. Julius Randle finally came through last game, and that's good, but he's not nearly as high priced as Curry. So Doncic pulling a lot of weight today, coming in around 50% on DraftKings, Adam.
Yeah, it's a weird situation where I think he deserves it like there's not many guys to pay up for. It's basically Luka or Curry. And I think that Luka looks better than Curry. You have a game that is more likely to be competitive than Curry's game. And you have someone in Luka that is a similar usage guy, better rebounding percentage, better assist percentage. It all looks better for Luka. The only thing that I would point to is you do need to pay attention to the ownership difference between Luka and Curry, because like Luka's 10-4 on DraftKings, Curry's 10-5. We know that they both have similar ceilings, even if Luka is the slightly higher projected player and slightly more likely to hit it. But the ownership gap is pretty big. But you can also make up for that depending on how you're handling the Indiana game, which we will talk about at the end of the night. So Luka looks great. It's really just a matter of what are you doing at the rest of your lineup, and we'll dig into that more later.
Carlo, is Adam going to be able to make those swaps? That's almost 5 hours away. That's a golden comment.
Did you see my reply?
No, what was it?
Haven't decided if I'm registering for that reason.
All right. Are you surprised at all by the fact that Luka's 50%, or just given the slate, is it normal? Like,
no, it's normal. It made sense to me. Like, if you just say to me Luka or Steph, the answer is absolutely Luka. He rebounds better. He gets more assists. He has a similar usage rate. They play similar minutes. He's in a game where he's a 3-point dog as opposed to being a 12-point favorite. Everything like points to Luka being the guy, but that's why I say you need to pay attention to the ownership, because everybody's aware of all of those things. And so it's kind of just like, it's a 3-game slate and people are just saying, yeah, we know Luka is going to beat Curry. And it's like, okay, there's a good amount of times that Curry is just like, yeah, you're wrong. Here's 12 threes, and so anytime you can get Steph as like the lower owned pay up guy on a 3-game slate, it's nice. But I think from like a median standpoint, Luka's clearly the guy.
The common trading phrase, like stock market trading phrase, buy when there's blood in the streets, right? You know what I'm talking about? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels, when everyone's panicking, everyone's freaking out, all they can talk about is how bad it is and how it's a stay away. If you've noticed, you'll see that sentiment in our chats lately. You'll see it on Twitter lately, and we'll get to that third game in a little bit. But that's kind of how it is with Curry right now, right? Everyone's kind of, man, why is he so bad? What happened to Steph Curry? I don't think I can go near this guy anymore. Kind of, it's risky because you don't know when that's going to end. But we all know, and Lillard does this we all know it's going to end eventually.
Right. And like, obviously we're not on that game yet, but like I saw somebody in chat say, why the hell is Curry so much when he's been trashed for weeks? If you start pricing Steph Curry, and this goes to Dame Lillard too, if you start pricing guys like that to like what they've done lately, holy shit, they're going to be popular, because guys like that just, they go through streaks, but you know what the upside is. So if you're like, oh, Steph, you suck for 2 weeks. I know you've been good for the last decade, but the last 2 weeks, you've been really bad. You are now a $9K player, an $8,500 player. Like, okay, cool. You have Steph Curry at 80% owned. Like, who wants that? And it's the same thing for Dame. Like, we saw it even earlier this year when he was playing poorly. At least we knew he was dealing with an injury, so you could kind of like write off him being bad. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, you have a really volatile player. If you price them to what they've done recently, either everyone's going to play them or everyone should play them, one or the other. Like, the ownership might be really low. In this case, you just jam them in. But you can't adjust guys that are the clear number ones on their team for what they've done in the last couple of weeks.
For sure. Jordan, was your mic on? Your mic was unmuted when you ripped that burp off right there. Oh, okay, so I can hear you, but they can't.
Oh, I heard it too.
Oh, I can definitely hear you. Yeah,
I heard it. I thought you were laughing at me, and I was really confused.
But I know I was laughing at Jordan. He ripped off a monster.
No. I meant I thought Jordan was laughing at me, and I was really confused.
No, those are good points, though. Yeah, if Curry's 9,100 on this slate, everyone's going to play him today. It's really that simple.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. I know we're jumping around. But
chat said everyone heard it.
Oh, they did? God, I love you, Jordan. Adam Palmer, if Brogdon's out, Dude, that's incorrect. You can't give me a whole lineup, man. Jordan, can you I don't know. Payne, Curry, Doncic, Hart, Holiday, Ingram, Hayes, Looney, Robinson for cash. Man,
I can't answer it. Like, I think there's one good cash lineup basically, or variations of them. I haven't built one, so I'm not going to tell you if like you landed on it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm sorry, man. It's tough to do like entire lineups when you're asking questions like that. Do you want to talk about anything else for Dallas? Sorry, go ahead.
I'll say for that, for Adam Homer, just like throw what you think you're most unsure about, throw that in without a super chat, and like we'll answer it.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So give us Jordan, just keep an eye out for him so we don't just completely snub him. And then that's a good call. Porzingis, Brunson, DFS, anybody you want to get to elsewhere? Because Porzingis, once again, I mean, he's at that mid 7K price point that's just going to keep bringing in ownership.
Yeah, Porzingis, Brunson, DFS, Kleba, they all look fine. Like, they don't stand out as great plays, but it's a 3-game slate, so you should get to them. Porzingis still, as far as I know, playing tonight. I assume he's going to play like normal minutes, which for him is like 30 to 32. If the game's close, he can play more, but enough weird stuff happens in their games that his average is around 31 minutes per game. But at this point, it's 6 Eastern. We still haven't had him ruled out. I assume he's playing. So he looks good to me. He was in both my DraftKings and FanDuel tournament plays video as just being someone that's going a little bit under-owned. I think people just get like scared off of Porzingis, but they really shouldn't. Like, if he's going to play, he's a 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy. The rest of the team, Brunson, Hardaway, Kleba, like, they have the potential to play enough minutes. It's just a matter of they're not really high producing guys. Kleba at 4,100 on FanDuel, I think he's like 3,800 on DraftKings, is appealing as a value option, but you can't really expect that much out of him.
What do you think Curry's MVP odds are?
You're shitting me, right?
What do you mean?
Like, I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. No, okay.
That was like that was something you throw to Josh, and he has it like
you're right.
down to the.
All right, let me ask you this: where do you think he is against the field in terms of where he ranks, like amongst them, first, fifth, eighth, third?
So like I still can't even answer that because in my opinion, Jokic is the clear one, and I know he's not. So I really have no idea.
Plus 170, and
for Jokic, right?
No, for Curry.
Okay, so what is Jokic?
Plus 600, 6
right, so I think Jokic should be ahead of Curry, but he's not.
I'd put Embiid ahead of Curry, to be honest with you.
I would put Embiid ahead of Curry. I would put Jokic ahead of Curry. I would probably put Giannis ahead of Curry.
So Giannis is 3-1. He's second. Jokic is 6-1. Embiid's 8-1. Yeah. Ja Morant's fifth.
Would probably put Ja Morant ahead of Curry.
Really?
Why not? I mean, okay, so what has Curry actually done? He's on a good team. He's playing well, but except for when he's not, like over the last month. Why is Curry a favorite other than because he's Steph Curry?
True. I hear you. Or at least that much of a favorite.
Right, exactly. Like if Steph Curry gets the MVP, cool. Like, not going to argue with that, but what's the real argument? Like, Jokic has been better. Yeah, he gets more opportunities because he's on a shit team, but he's doing better with nothing around him. Ja Morant's been fantastic. Embiid's been fantastic. Like, I don't get basically the way I view the MVP race right now, and clearly I am not betting on this. I don't put any thought into it, but the way I view it is I would be jamming in the most reasonable underdogs and just fading the lowest.
Oh, for sure.
Because I think it's just a crapshoot at this point. Like, you can make a strong case for any of these guys.
For sure. Dude, I'd much rather take Embiid at 8-1 over Curry at plus 170. Like, that's a no-brainer for sure. All right, let's wrap up this one. Anything else for Dallas that you want to hit on?
No, I mentioned Brunson, Hardaway, Kleba, all is just kind of like filling the pieces, guys.
All right. Hey, Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports, sponsor of this wonderful Deeper Dive show. If you haven't checked it out yet, well, no reason to continue not checking it out. Very simply, not only do they have the best pay structures out there where you're at least doubling up, even if you min cash in these tournaments, but they're also paying out 33 or more % in a lot of these tournaments. They have a ton of everybody wins contests, which are insane. Like you're making money back no matter what. And, well, you get a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when all you have to do is sign up at Yahoo using the link in the description or the one that our boy Jordan Klein is about to throw in the chat right now. I mean, absolutely no reason not to make this happen. So I don't know if we have done it yet, if you haven't done it yet, but if you haven't done it yet, do it. Free month, $90 value, every single thing that we've got on the site for Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. We got Yahoo for the boom bust tool, for the top stacks, ownership, player projections, all of that. And not just for football, but our basketball, but every other sport that we have includes Yahoo tools. Check it out, Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. And jump in the NBA contest today. Jump in on the huge baller contest for football that they have all week. What do they have tonight? 50K, I think. 50K NBA baller. Yeah, 50K NBA baller. And then for this weekend, you got the 250K Saturday NFL baller, $500,000 Sunday baller, where, like I said, just the pay structures are so much better. A free $30,000 contest. Yeah. Oh, and the $50,000 everybody wins divisional round special. Jump in, use our tools, get the free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. We'll hit you up. And if you want to get in right away, email us at support@awesemo.com and we'll do what we can to expedite the process. All right. Let's talk about the next one up on the list. Pelicans, Knicks, 209.5 point total. Adam, the Pels on the road are, what's the spread here? 4-point dogs. Where are you going with New Orleans today at the top, starting with Jonas Valanciunas?
Yeah, so I mean, I think you start in the front court with Valanciunas. He looks good one way or the other. He's averaging around 32 minutes per game recently. He's about a 1.25 fantasy point per minute guy. The matchup kind of sucks. Like the Knicks are slow. They're good defensively. They defend the paint well, but you're still getting a discounted price tag on someone that is a very, very good player, and it's a 3-game slate. Also, normally the issue you run into with Valanciunas is that you have like a Jokic or you have a Christian Wood that's underpriced or you have Nurkic or whatever. None of that exists tonight. Someone questioned earlier and was like, oh, Adam said there was no opportunity cost of center. There's still opportunity cost, but the opportunity cost is basically JaVale McGee / Bismack Biyombo. You can play Porzingis at power forward. You can play, I mean, you have Mitchell Robinson. He can be fine, but who really cares? We don't even know who's starting at center for Indiana. It could be Goga, but it could be like Brissett. You could play Kevon Looney, but who really cares? So it's a slate where if Joval scores 50, you're not really running the risk of someone scoring 80 and making him irrelevant. He's probably going to be a winner. So Joval looks good. Ingram is interesting. His salary's come down a little bit. He hasn't been great this year.
Very popular tonight, too.
What'd you say?
Very popular tonight, too.
Yeah, like he's 8K. I think he should be. It's just a cheap price tag for someone that's going to play 35, 36 minutes. And then you also have Devontae Graham questionable, which Graham himself hasn't been a great fantasy producer this year, but I think that actually does impact a lot for this team because if he's out, you potentially get more assist opportunities for Ingram. You potentially get more assist opportunities for Hart. Maybe you get more minutes for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but he's kind of been on the fritz in the rotation. Like there's a non-zero chance that they're just like, screw it, Ingram's the point guard and we're throwing Garrett Temple in there, in which case that would be great for Ingram. So this is the first game of the night or one of the first games of the night. So pay attention to the starting lineup, but Ingram looks good. Like if Graham is in, if Ingram's starting and they replace Graham with somebody like, well, Ingram clearly is starting, but like if Graham is out and they replace him with like Garrett Temple instead of Alexander Walker, that's basically Ingram running point.
Yeah, it's a good point. By the way, I just love how we have producer cam now and Jordan's still rocking the beater.
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment too much based on how I showed up for this show, but
I know it's so good though. I'm surprised, like just given how camera shy he is, I thought he'd be here in his Sunday best, but
no, he probably was just like, if I don't shower for 3 days and wear a beater, nobody will put me on producer cam.
No, that is every reason for me to put him on producer cam.
Wait, so you control that and not him?
Oh no, that would be amazing. No,
right, that's what I'm saying. He can probably just be like, "Oh no, we're not doing it today."
Oh, I got you.
Because I'm wearing a wife beater and I haven't showered.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you had control, he would probably be wearing a fucking tuxedo.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, we did have a super chat. Thanks for that, Jordan. From Bruce Booth. Juan Bielitsa tonight with Otto Porter out. So Juan Toscano Anderson or Bielitsa with OPJ sideline.
I mean, I think the answer is Bielitsa just because, so he basically is Kevon Looney's backup, but he's a really good point per minute guy. Toscano Anderson kind of is just like, I mean, as of last game, not out of the rotation, but he plays like 14 minutes. You have Kuminga ahead of him. Steve Kerr can do different things at different times, but I would lean Bielitsa over Toscano Anderson because they're probably going to play similar minutes, and Bielitsa is the better point per minute guy.
Oh, that's not a beater. You're just wearing, that's just a sleeveless. Okay. What are you drinking? Why? Oh, you can't show
Everclear.
You can't. Oh, you got
that's my favorite flavor.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something that was
cheers, Jordan.
Like illegal. I thought he shook his head like can't show you.
No.
Goody had a super chat too. It feels like we can stuff in 3 of the top 6 guys tonight. Which are your top 3 or 4? All right, Adam, that's a good question. And I guess he's saying the 3 or 4 like high priced guys. 4 is going to be a little bit of extreme, but we just talked about Joe Val. We'll talk about Curry. We talked about Luka. We're about to get to Julius Randle, and we got to Booker as well. Who are some of the like 3 or 4 top high price guys for you tonight?
I mean, so if we're ignoring ownership, which I really don't think you can do on a 3-game slate, but if we're just saying screw it, ignore that, I think it's Luka, Randle, Booker, Joval.
Okay.
Porzingis is really close to Joval, but I give a slight edge to Joval. So it's basically like the top 4 and ignore Steph.
All right.
Which never has ended well for anybody.
No, very rarely. Do you have anybody else you want to hit on for the Pels before we get to the Knicks?
Wait, what'd you say?
Josh Hart. Did you hit on him already?
No, I didn't. I basically had just hit on Joval and Ingram.
Yeah.
Hart's just one of those where like there's nothing I can say to make him look really good. He's going to play a lot of minutes at 6,300. It's a 3-game slate. He's going to fit into a lot of your lineups, and that's fine. The Pels are an interesting team though, because obviously we're waiting on the Devontae Graham news, and we kind of already touched on that. If he's out, you're probably getting more Nickeil Alexander-Walker at 3,600. His minutes have been cut back a bit lately, but I assume he would play more. Alvarado and Temple probably play more as well. Satoransky could get back into the rotation, but beyond like the Devontae Graham news, Herbert Jones at 4,400 is actually interesting to me. He's been a 0.82 fantasy point per minute guy over the last month, and normally I don't really care all that much about over the last month type stuff, but he is a rookie and he is playing consistent minutes, and obviously for the first time in his NBA career, he's been productive. He only has a 15% usage rate, but he defends well. He gets a lot of defensive stats. He gets some rebounds. 4,400 for Herbert Jones on a 3-game slate is pretty appealing to me.
Okay.
And then the last thing I would mention is that, and I mentioned this in my FanDuel tournament video earlier, but Jackson Hayes, 3,200 on DraftKings. He's 4,200 power forward on FanDuel. You don't want to rely on someone like that, but it's a 3-game slate. All that it takes is Joval getting in foul trouble, and Jackson Hayes is a tournament winner.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, and the thing about Josh Hart too is you're rarely going to be excited about him, but because he's like a 17% usage guy. He's a decent rebounder. He's got a 20% assist rate. So he kind of does everything okay and nothing great, especially when you've got Joval and Ingram on the floor as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anything?
So somebody said Adam with the White Claw, Lofty with the high noon. What's the world coming to? This is like a normal day, just away from the cameras.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the difference is this is my first one of the day.
It's my first White Claw also.
Oh yeah, that's fair. And Andre, I had to look up what that word even was. I had to look up what that even meant, but now I know. Okay. New York Knicks, Julius Randle. So I think what we did a show on Tuesday, because I didn't do one with you yesterday, was the 2-game slate. We had a long conversation about Randle, and he popped in our boom bust tool for obvious reasons. Not a ton of high priced players. Not really any different today, Adam. Randle has a 7.4% leverage score, which is the highest on the slate again for tonight's 3-gamer.
Yeah, it's kind of just a stupid price tag. Like, this is someone that, yeah, he doesn't produce at the same rate that Luka does or that Steph does, but he's still well over a 1 fantasy point per minute guy that you can count on to play 38 minutes or so in competitive games. The Pels are not good defensively. The only negative I really can throw out there for Julius Randle is that my assumption is that he's going to draw Herbert Jones, which is a thing. I don't care a whole lot about individual defense. I care a lot more about pace, total, team defense. But Herbert Jones has been a problem at times this year where you're just kind of like, oh, New Orleans sucks defensively. And then it's like, oh, great. I got the only guy on the team that plays defense defending the guy that I jammed in. But none of it really matters when Julius Randle is $9,100 or even less on FanDuel, because that's just like mitigating all of it. So you're just talking about a like 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy. I don't care how good you think Herbert Jones is. You can knock Julius Randle down to like 1.1 and still say, oh, he's going to play 38 minutes at 9,100. That looks pretty good. Like, I'll take my chances there on a 3-game slate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in all seriousness, when you look at a guy in Julius Randle, I think, would you say he's been disappointing this season for what people were expecting of him?
Yes, but I think people also expected too much.
Me too. Like, I think people were just expecting routine triple doubles every night. What's up?
Somebody said Adam puff pass next time. I don't think I've spoke to weed since. Actually, I know I haven't spoke to weed since college.
Really? Has it been that long?
I've spoke to weed twice in my life, and both were in college.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What'd you get paranoid and we're like, this is
no, I just didn't. I just never liked it. I mean, granted, I did it twice. So like, obviously I didn't have any sort of a shell. If I could go back, like I would have rather like spent my entire last 10 years, like smoking weed instead of drinking, but no, just not a weed smoker at all.
Hey, you weren't drawn to it, Hey, yeah. RJ Barrett, Kemba, Fournier, and then this center position. Let me actually hit on the center position with Nerlens Noel out, right? He's sidelined once again. We saw Mitchell. I jinxed this too. Just after on Tuesday, when I was like, "Yeah, Mitchell Robinson's been really solid past year and a half of not getting into consistent foul trouble." Fouled out in 20 minutes, Adam. So that happened. So Robinson played 20 minutes, and then Taj Gibson comes in and plays 25 minutes. What do you think happens here at the center rotation if Mitchell Robinson isn't in foul trouble, which has been the case? He really hasn't been outside of last game.
Right. Like, I mean, if Mitchell Robinson's not in foul trouble at all, you're probably getting like 30 minutes for Robinson, 18 for Gibson. If there's any semblance of anything, it's probably like a 28-20. And then obviously if he fouls out, then it changes completely. But Robinson at 5,200 is fine. We know the type of upside he has. He can get blocks. He can get rebounds. Gibson is still interesting to me at 3,300 just because even if he plays 18 minutes at power forward, it's not the end of the world on a 3-game slate. And you have the upside of, Robinson obviously fouling people.
Yeah, no, I don't smoke weed either. I don't.
Yeah.
I was reading chat.
We went different directions on our drugs of choice. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I only smoked it twice, but no more. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, man. I mean, Jordan never has either. Why don't you put that on producer cam?
Somebody said Adam Clinton. Yeah, I never inhaled. Dude, I smoke like daily. I just don't inhale.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you're Bill Clinton. Anything else for the Knicks you want to hit on from Barrett and Walker and Fournier? Anybody else?
They're all kind of just there. Barrett does, I think, take a hit with Kemba back. Kemba's a higher usage guy than Alec Burks. He's going to be playing more minutes alongside him. Barrett still potentially could just, take over. He does that at times, but you're kind of paying for that at this salary. I think Kemba's really interesting, though, because he's only 6,100. He played 28, 29 minutes in his first game back. Thibodeau had said that he didn't want Kemba back until Kemba could play like as a regular player. Shut up, Jordan. Could play like I'm just watching Jordan. He didn't want Kemba back. He didn't want Kemba back until Kemba could play as a starter. Kemba came out, played 30 minutes. Like, would it be shocking to anybody if Kemba played like 36 minutes now?
No. What are you projecting him for?
I think the correct projection is like 32, but it also goes back to the Pelicans suck defensively, and I think there's a very good chance that Herbert Jones is on Randall. So that would leave Kemba to like be the guy. I'm not saying you have to like jam in Kemba, but I think there is a good chance that Kemba is better than people think he's going to be tonight.
Okay. So we got Indy and Golden State. Like I said, we'll leave some time. We're leaving some time on the clock here to make sure we hit on everything. I think we've actually done a pretty good job of breaking down a lot of what's happening already for this spot, like with Curry and a lot for the Pacers. But before we do, let's shout everybody that's getting inducted into the Awesemo Hall of Fame here. If you're wondering what that is, I'll tell you. Go to awesemo.com/avatar, okay? And download the avatar. Use it on Yahoo. Use it on DraftKings, FanDuel, wherever you want. Finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more and hit us up. Tweet us at Awesemo, HOF, Awesemo Hall of Fame on the Twitters. Include Adam and myself in this as well. We like to see that. And win a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Get inducted into the Hall of Fame right here. Catch that love on Twitter as well. It all feels good. And you get a free month. Everything included on the site for the entire month, not just basketball. Let's kick it off with this one. Well, first off, where is that writing coming from? Jordan, is that Twitter? And it does not look like Twitter. That looks like a Word document. What? Looks, yeah, or like notes. Anyway, amazing work from your team. Help me get some MF ducats. Money. And then D's nuts. I mean, just a great name there. $25,000. Congrats, man. And the 600K play action. Then you got Cedric. I had a first place entry in the afternoon piggy bank contest on the afternoon slate. I'm wondering if I can cash in. Yeah, dude, you took first out of 24,000. Of course you can. It doesn't matter what you win. You could enter for a nickel as long as it's top 3, a field of 5,000 or more. So yes, sir. 100K Tuesday monster, 30,000 and 3K first and fifth. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but congrats to you, brother or sister. Dave, turned out to be a good night. Been running ice cold lately, so felt good to win again. Even live bet late games and hit. I saw that, man. That was solid. The 20 into 1,200 over there for our boy Dave DeRemer. And then getting used to the tools over the last 2 months. And even without a show today from Slim, Cliffy, and Josh, was able to get my first win in the $1 max hip check. Thanks for the help with all my questions, Slim. Here's to more wins soon for all of us. Good stuff, man. Yeah, we got a great team of NHL guys out there if you guys are looking to get into that. And then Lockbriar picked it up with some Carr and Zay NFL Showdown 10K. Congrats to all of you guys. Welcome to the Hall of Fame if you're new here. If not, welcome back. I love seeing this, man. Some big wins over the weekend. It's weird that we didn't get them updated until now. Maybe they just didn't tweet us until lately, but we'll take it, man. Some big five-figure wins in the books for Team Awesemo. Congrats. All right, Adam, let's do it. Malcolm Brogdon, do you think he plays on the second of a back-to-back?
Someone said Adam is 2 shots away from sliding into his ex's DMs.
I think she blocked you, didn't she?
I'll say I wish he knew the history of me and like the ex that I'm closest with.
I don't even think you could DM her.
We still talk a decent amount.
Oh, really?
I mean,
so she unblocked you.
I mean, I'm not going to get into this, but like,
no, don't. Public figure.
Yeah.
Am I thinking of a different one?
No, you're thinking of the right one.
Okay.
something like that.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Malcolm Brogdon, do you think he plays or not? And all right, let's drill down into this. Let's get serious for a second. We're almost at 500 likes too. So appreciate you guys. You are the best. And I still think we get to 700 here, holding out hope. So, all right. Do you think he plays or not? And how are you approaching this from our earlier conversation, just from an overall strategy standpoint? Like, what can we do to focus here? What can we do to try and make sure that we're not just going to screw ourselves in the event that Brogdon sits?
No, I think this is actually the most important game on the slate and the most important team. What I think is the right way to approach this. So you have Sabonis out, you have Brogdon questionable, you have LeVert questionable. Me and Greg kind of were talking about it earlier today, but then once we got the LeVert news, we talked about it a little bit more on Twitter. The LeVert, so Brogdon, we didn't expect Sabonis to play. Brogdon being questionable to me is probably Indiana lying, and he's not going to play. But they've also been very cavalier with his Achilles injury, which maybe he plays. The weird thing to me was that LeVert is now questionable, which to me kind of screamed, we're going to punt this game against Golden State. We want to rest our guys. We don't want to get fined or yelled at or whatever. So we're going to say LeVert has a calf strain and then he's not going to play because of his calf strain or whatever. If I had to tell you like even money what I think happens, LeVert sits, Brogdon sits, we know Sabonis is out. The way I think you should approach this from a DFS standpoint is to project Brogdon out and LeVert in, because what that does is it's going to give you a lot of Karis LeVert and obviously no Malcolm Brogdon. If you get a situation where LeVert is out and Brogdon somehow plays, you can just move your LeVert to Brogdon in most cases. If you get a case where both guys are out, you're going to have plenty of opportunities between what you have on Golden State and what you have on Indiana if you project Brogdon out and LeVert in to just swap around to whatever makes sense based on what the lineup is. I think you run the risk, like if you project both out, you run the risk of not being able to get to LeVert if he's in and Brogdon is out, which is like a fantastic play. So that's why I kind of think that even though I personally don't think any of them play, I think you just project LeVert in and say he's going to be the dude. And then if you have to swap off of that and swap around, you're going to have plenty of options.
Okay. I mean, that's a solid way to lay it out. So you're probably right. Like, are you okay? So would you be approaching this as if he's just not playing then? If you're building lineups right now, that's the tough part.
Approach LeVert or Brogdon?
Brogdon. I'm sorry. Yeah. Brogdon.
Yeah, like I think the correct way, not even the correct, the way from a strategy standpoint, what I would do is
logical way.
Yeah, the most logical way to still capture upside and then also give yourself opportunities to move stuff around is to say, I don't think Brogdon plays. I think LeVert plays. I personally do not think either one plays, but I think that is the way, based on salaries, I think that is the way that you best give yourself options.
Okay. I like it. So let me ask you this then. If
I just saw another list that I'm just happy the White Claw made Adam's speech slow.
Jordan actually said the same thing earlier. He goes, I don't think I've ever heard him speak this slow. Yeah. I said, good. We only have 3 games today.
Have to reach out to Tom and be like, yo, load me up on White Claw and we can have better shows.
Did you not see that show last night? What about the front court with no Miles Turner? He's out for a significant period of time. No Domantas Sabonis. So it leaves us with guys like Brissett and then Goga Bitadze, who 2 games ago with Turner out played 25 minutes, was very solid off the bench. And then last game only played 3 minutes, but now Turner's out. I mean, that was also against the Lakers where you've got LeBron at the 5, right? So I would assume that makes a pretty significant impact. What about tonight going up against Kevon Looney? How many minutes do you think these guys get?
Right. So the other interesting thing is the front court here, and Greg and I talked about this a lot on our stuff earlier. I don't know what the starting lineup's going to be. I think that there's a good chance Indiana just decides that they are going to match up Goga with Kevon Looney, because why not? In which case, a $3,700 Goga looks good. I can't. I'm watching. Jordan's just fucking laughing now. Like
I know. Just a horrible producer. Get off the screen, Jordan. Look, he just scooted off the screen. He's knocking stuff over in his apartment.
But anyway, I think that they could just say, okay, like we're starting Goga. We know Sabonis is out. We know Turner is out. We're going to throw Goga at center. He's going to play 24 to 26 minutes against Kevon Looney. That's completely reasonable, and it makes Goga look good. I think there is a decent chance that happens. But Greg is also right in what he said earlier that if Rick Carlisle really wants to win this game, which I don't think he does because I'm also assuming that he just rests Brogdon and LeVert. But if you want to maximize your chances as a huge underdog at Golden State, you don't go with Goga. You go with a basically 5-out lineup where you have Dwayne Washington and Duarte and Holiday and Brissett and Torrey Craig. Yeah. And you basically just say, yeah, we're not playing a center. We're just going to take a bunch of threes. We're going to, hope that we make more than we should, and we're going to beat you that way. So this is the other angle, I think, for late swap and for what you're doing. Bitadze is likely to play enough minutes to be a good play at 3,700, but Torrey Craig's been in the starting lineup without Miles Turner. I think at 3,800 in a matchup where he could defend Steph Curry, he's interesting. I think Duarte looks good at 4,300. Worst case is Brogdon and LeVert are in. He still looks good. If they're out, he looks very good. Brissett, Lamb, if he's in, he played yesterday. Don't know if he plays tonight, but he's 3K. If this game goes small and Brogdon and LeVert are out, he's probably the best play on the slate. All of these guys, just leave yourself opportunities to swap. But I think that assuming Brogdon is out and LeVert is in is a good way to make sure you still get the highest upside piece from Indiana. And then I think assuming that Brissett and Craig are the main pieces from the front court allow you a good opportunity to swap later to a cheaper Bitadze, a cheaper Lamb, a cheaper Jackson, whatever happens there. So I think it's just a team where you get an example of you don't even have to guess. You don't have to be right on what you think is going to happen. You kind of just want to put yourself in a position where you can swap to things that could potentially happen. And doing that is basically saying, assume Brissett starts over Goga because you can always make those swaps.
All right. So then wrap up the Pacers. And by the way, I mean, this is one of the wildest, most entertaining shows in a while. The fact that we're not at 700 likes yet is a travesty. I mean, show some love to your boy Adam Scherer and Jordan Klein. These guys making it happen tonight. Also hilarious that people think that you got tuned up off of one White Claw. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's funny that people think this is a weird amount of drunk for me.
No, you're fine. It's just a funny show. It's just a funny show. I mean, also, inhibitions get lowered and judgment and recognition.
Yeah. No, but
awareness
people
goes down.
Adam might fall into Inner Harbor tonight. Dude, this is I've lived here for 3 years. This is
and he's never fallen into the harbor. All right. Oh yeah. See, we're 697. Showing some love. Let's go. We got 3 to go. Appreciate you guys. So can we wrap up Indiana just by you say who, if Brogdon's out, assuming he is right now, who your favorite options are in tournaments?
If we assume Brogdon's out, so if LeVert's in, he's the best tournament play because at this point he's questionable. Nobody's going to roster him, and he's going to go absolutely nuts if Brogdon is out. I'm not saying I think he plays. I don't think he does, but that's why I think you should build around LeVert being in. Is that I think it's more likely Brogdon sits than LeVert. I think most likely they both do, but Brogdon would be the best tournament play there. If they're both out, Duarte looks good. Craig looks good. Brissett looks good. Lamb looks fantastic if he's in. If he's out, Stevenson looks good. Washington looks good. If they're both out, you're going to have plenty of stuff to swap to. So the way I see it right now is LeVert at probably very low ownership because it's relatively unlikely that he plays is a great option because if he does play, he's going to be great.
Let's talk about the Warriors. Wrap this one up. Toss it. Sorry, we're a minute or two late. I mean, we went off the rails a little bit today,
we started late too.
We did start late, right? That's a good point. And by the way, I think your analysis has been fantastic tonight. I don't think you've skipped a beat. Outside of a few slurs, you've been outstanding.
I know my analysis has been great. Like I could do that in my sleep.
I know. Yeah, I know. All right. Golden State Warriors. We talked a lot about Curry, but when it comes to Steph Curry, how much do you want to kind of leverage the field with the fact that his ownership should be down from where it normally would be on a 3-game slate based on how he's played recently?
I laughed at your analysis, chat. I don't think you should base Curry on what he's done recently. I think he still looks behind Luka because of what he is. They are similar usage guys. Luka gets the edge in usage. Luka's a better rebounder. Luka gets more assists. When you compare the two, like Luka's the guy. But Curry also showed up in my DraftKings and my FanDuel tournament plays videos because it's a 3-game slate, and I think there's a good chance that you just get more ownership going to Luka than is probably deserved relative to Curry. All Curry has to do to be the highest scorer on the slate is make a bunch of threes, and that's kind of what this guy does. So if you're only choosing one and you already have contrarian plays, or you're playing cash and you can only choose one or whatever, I think Luka's the guy. In tournaments, I really like Curry as the pivot because like on DraftKings, he's $100 more than Curry, or more than Luka, I mean. And he really shouldn't be. It makes no sense. But that's going to drive ownership away, and it's only a 3-game slate.
All right. Where else are we going with the rest of this team? Kuminga, Klay Thompson, anybody else here? Or is it mostly just Kuminga and Curry?
I think so. I think Kuminga is one of the best values on the slate the way it looks right now. 4,300. He played 25 minutes last game. He had some early foul trouble, but I think he's safe regardless of the score of this game. Like he's a good point per minute guy. He's going to get his run, but also he should get blowout run because what's the reason he wouldn't? He's not really in their rotation when they're healthy. He's not someone they have to like preserve his health. They want to just get him minutes. So I think that he's playing, good minutes regardless at 4,300. He's just shy of a fantasy point per minute guy. The other guy here, and this is going to sound weird, the other guy here that I think is just safe no matter what is Klay Thompson at 5,300. He was with Kuminga. The only two that played in the fourth quarter against Detroit in a blowout were Kuminga and Thompson. They're kind of just playing him 22 to 24 minutes now, regardless of score, which is really good when you have a guy with a 30% usage rate at 5,300. And if this game blows out, he's still just going to be out there chucking shots for a few minutes in the fourth quarter. I love Thompson. I love Kuminga. Looney looks fine. Curry looks fine. On a 3-game slate, Wiggins is whatever. I think the best two plays here are Kuminga and Klay.
All right. Well, this has been fantastic. This has been a whole lot of fun today. You guys are the best. We're about to crack 800 likes because y'all are the greatest, right, Adam? Y'all usage. You're going to break out some y'alls tonight?
Damn, I still didn't do it on the show. That's how you know I didn't have enough not White Claws before the show. But
it's because I don't think you actually say it.
I definitely do actually say it, but yeah, y'all are the best.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you as always. Good luck tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us and, tolerating our insanity here.
Caleb McLean just nailed it. Drunk Adam talking John Bonet. Let's go.
So hold on. My goal is that when we have a stream where we don't talk basketball. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for almost making me read that. Why would I? Is that the one?
The Caleb McLean one?
Yeah.
I cut you off and read it, and then you just ignored me and almost read it behind me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I read ahead of myself. All right, guys, stick around. Greg Ehrenberg, Eric Lindquist coming up next. Follow Adam at Ship My Money DFS. You might have some fun on Twitter tonight following this guy. And me at Laffy_D. I'll certainly be monitoring the situation myself. And shout out, as always, to our boy Jordan Klein, greatest producer on planet Earth. Stick around. Live Before Lock and the after show coming up next.
I have no idea how we're going to top this, but welcome everybody to the Sober NBA Live Before Lock show presented by Yahoo. I'm Eric Lindquist, excited to be talking this three-gamer, which I think has some edges to it because that's what Late Swap does. But I've got a guy over here in Ehrenberg DFS over on Twitter, Greg Ehrenberg, my buddy here. You know us Tuesday through Friday. You love us, maybe not as much as the previous show because I don't know what happened, but it was maybe the greatest deeper dive in the history of deeper dives. Greg, did you catch any of it, my dude?
I did not. I know just based on the 2 minutes talking between, because I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure out who the hell is starting for the Pacers today. Because the audience might think that Adam has a drinking problem, but I have an Indiana Pacers problem today because I don't know what's going to happen here. I think I have an idea of what's going to happen. We have no Sabonis today. There's no Miles Turner. We know that for sure. Karis LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon were added to the injury report as questionable today. I don't think either of them are going to end up playing. But then the other issue that we have here is that this game starts 2.5 hours later than any other game on the slate. So we're not going to know whether these guys are in and out beforehand. But I've set up my projections if neither one of them are going to play, which I'm happy that Adam was drunk enough to give us an extra 5 minutes to run my lineups.
It was gold. I'm worried because I think we're going to be encouraging him to do more of it, which I don't know how that's going to go. But hey, we're sponsored by Yahoo. I'm going to be playing on Yahoo FanDuel. I have one lineup on DK just to be talking through some of that, primarily playing FanDuel and our sponsor Yahoo. That's where I think you should be playing too, because it's the lowest rake. All of the things. We have half an hour that we're going to be devoting completely to them and talking a little bit about things as they're going on. We've got 2 games that lock at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Then we have the 10 p.m. Eastern time game, which matters the absolute most. You just talked about it on the front end of the show. And let's jump to the guard position by position, like we always do on the show here. And at the top end, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry. Those are your 2 guys that you kind of have to differentiate between. They're $100 apart. I'm starting to feel like, because I want to have as much swappability, is that the right way of saying it? Swappability as possible to account to this Indiana news. I'm finding myself getting to a little bit more Steph Curry than what I was expecting to on this slate. I mean, there's a $600 difference on FanDuel, so that makes some sense for me. But what are you doing with these two studs at the top of the board?
Yeah, so the way that I have my lineup set up right now, which just was saying, I don't think Brogdon or LeVert are going to play. So, I mean, my lineups are full of bums right now. The people are not playing. Like, this is the ultimate GPP slate for me. I'm going to absolutely get my ass kicked or just playing guys that nobody else is playing, and it's going to go well for me. Yeah, but like if it's a contest with like 100,000 entries in it, like I might come in 200,000. Like that's how bad some of these lineups could end up looking after the fact. But to the reason that matters for your question, I don't find it that difficult for me to get to Curry and Luka in some lineups because I'm playing just the dredges of guys on the Indiana Pacers, and I have a lot of value to play with. So I do prefer Luka Doncic, but I'm getting to a whole bunch of both of them.
And then you're talking Torrey Craig, Jeremy Lamb. I mean, these guys are the men on FanDuel. It's so fun to be building over there today. I will say, I am assuming right now that you're going to get Karis LeVert in, but you guys, you and Adam are both on the side where you guys think that they're both sitting. Obviously, the tag next to him makes it sound like maybe he'll be sitting there. I'm going to have some allotment of lineups where I definitely build with both of them out though as well, because I mean, the stars and scrubs nature of that, just going to like Goga, Torrey Craig, Jeremy Lamb, like all of these cats, it's undeniable that you would have a pretty tight rotation. Kiefer Sykes, I think, would probably be the best tournament play at guard in the event that you got both of them out. I think that that's kind of the way to look at it. But we'll get down to the trenches, to the bottom here in a second. Looking at the rest of the position on the top end, you do have Karis LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon. And I hate to throw this out there, but if you had to play one, like if I'm telling you right now that one of them is in, which one would you prefer to have in? And I mean, obviously, if you're building around it where you're going to get dead last, you can't do much about it. But for people who might want to have that kind of in mind, is there one guy you would prefer over the other?
I guess LeVert, just from this standpoint, if you had to say to me which one is more likely to sit, I think it's probably Brogdon. And then even if Brogdon plays, I don't know that he's going to play a full allotment of minutes. So Malcolm Brogdon's been dealing with an Achilles injury for a really long time now. And we look through some of the games he's had. He first got hurt December 21st was the first game he hurt his Achilles. Sits out for a while, comes back January 12th, re-injures his Achilles, doesn't return to the game, only played 17 minutes, takes a couple more days off, returns yesterday, and plays 26 minutes. So I really think it's unlikely that Malcolm Brogdon ends up playing. I think it's fairly unlikely that Karis LeVert ends up playing too. But once again, I'm just kind of making what I think is an educated guess here. And I do think, though, if Brogdon plays, it's going to be limited minutes. If LeVert plays, it's going to be closer to full minutes. So with that in mind, I would lean towards LeVert if it had to be one. But I have 0% of both of them right now. If we get some other news that these guys are playing, it's just a total shuffle for me where I have to change everything in my lineups. But just answering what your question is, LeVert.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the same guy that I have. So once again, in the event that, and I don't have any kind of an idea. Obviously, the downgrade makes it seem like maybe they are trending towards it. I still would say Karis LeVert would be the guy I would expect to play more between the two of them. And on FanDuel, it is a major decision point because you have $8,100 there for LeVert and $66 for Brogdon. You can get to one if one's out. You cannot get to the other with $1,500 if that's your only spot remaining. But again, you shouldn't have that be the only spot remaining. Indiana should be intriguing. We did get word here that Devontae Graham is in, so that's less value on the front end. More inclined to take shots here on Indiana. The Pelicans are starting Graham, Hart, Ingram, Jones, and Valanciunas. I don't really know what that does for my lineups because, again, I am trying to stack them up late as possible. Were you getting to any Graham on this slate?
Yeah, a little bit, but not like a massive amount. Let's see. So I had, and also we knew early in the day that Devontae Graham went through shoot around. He was considered likely to play. So I have him 5% on DK and 16% on FanDuel in my lineups right now. Not a key piece in my lineups. It's the guys who are the key piece in my lineups. It is some crappy Indiana Pacers guys, which I want to ask you, who do you think is the starting five for the Pacers? Like, I know that we went back and forth on this on Twitter. You said you think LeVert plays, you think Brogdon sits. Mm-hmm. Give me your starting five for the Pacers. Let's play a game.
I mean, it's disgusting. So here you go. I've been having fun with this. Abel Ramos going, tell us the bums. Here you go. Here are some bums for you. I think Justin Holiday is a virtual lock in the lineup. Like, I'm saying that. I am 50-50 on Karis LeVert playing. I'm pretty convinced that Malcolm Brogdon will not. Achilles injury, but, you know, they've been pretty ridiculous with him in the past. So there is that. I'm going to go Justin Holiday, Karis LeVert, Kiefer Sykes. No, actually, no, Duarte's back. So I want Justin Holiday, Chris Duarte, Karis LeVert, O'Shea Brissett, and Goga Bitadze.
Okay, so for me, Goga, Brissett, Duarte, Holiday, and Torrey Craig.
Okay, so Torrey Craig's the only guy that we're different on.
No, and you said LeVert. I didn't say LeVert.
Oh, you didn't say LeVert. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think LeVert's out.
Okay,
No,
well, then he's out. Then that would be the Torrey Craig replacement. I'm thinking they need to have some kind of a point guard out there, which is why I'm kind of going the Sykes route in that event. So who are these bums from Indiana, Greg? You said you're building with completely everybody out here in mind, those two studs. Obviously, we already got news that Domantas Sabonis is out. Who are the guards from the Indiana side that you're getting to the most?
Yeah, so I'll pull up, first of all, the game from yesterday. We look at some of the minutes that Indiana played. Maybe the most surprising thing that happened yesterday was Jeremy Lamb played 25 minutes. So he is somebody, and keep in mind, he played 25 minutes yesterday with Karis LeVert in, with Malcolm Brogdon in, and with Sabonis in. I think there's a lot of playing time upside for Jeremy Lamb, and I know that he didn't play well yesterday. He played 25 minutes, only scored 8.5 fantasy points in those minutes. But just the fact that he played 25 minutes and we could have all these guys out, he's somebody I really gravitate towards as a tournament play right now. Obviously, this is dependent on Karis LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon being out, and that Jeremy Lamb himself is not going to be ruled out because he's had some knee issues and he hasn't always been in there for back-to-back situations. But he's somebody that I like a whole bunch. Talking about some of the other guards, Dwayne Washington and Kiefer Sykes are just flyers. They're not guys that I'm going to be really high unless we find out that Kiefer Sykes or Dwayne Washington is starting. The reason being is that these guys are just falling out of the rotation recently. So that leads me to think that even if they play, I think them, Lance Stevenson, probably guys that we're going to see like 18 to 20 minutes from, lesser options for me. Those are sub 5% guys. So Jeremy Lamb, Torrey Craig, and Chris Duarte are the guards that I'm prioritizing.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Again, Duarte back. When we had both Washington and Sykes there, for me, it's just looking at the ball handling. In the event that LeVert's in, I suppose I should probably make him the point, turn Torrey Craig into the power forward there. I think that would make a little bit more sense, actually, in that starting five as I'm talking through it. But once again, it's just a huge point of this slate. I think you want to be giving a boost to all of them. There's a way in Cruncher you can go in. You can basically say if lineups do not have Malcolm Brogdon or Karis LeVert, if you still want to build them in mind, you could use them as a key player and then include the other guys and give them a boost. I would really recommend learning how to do some of that stuff. I use it a lot for NFL, a little less so for NBA, but this is a 3-game slate. And obviously this is a piece of news that you'll have plenty of time. We still have 40 minutes. You should be able to build around this a little bit more than you generally would on like an 8-game or a 10-game slate where there are more moving pieces. We just got the Knicks starting lineup as well. Kemba, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Robinson. No surprises. So far, no surprises here in these early sessions of games. But anybody from this Dallas and Phoenix game look good to you? We've got Booker, who's been putting up a bunch of ceilings. Chris Paul's cheap over on FanDuel, I know, sitting at 7,800. He's garnering around 37%. I mean, I just find myself gearing a little bit more away from that game than maybe I should. What are you doing with that game specifically in the guard spot?
Playing Luka Doncic for sure.
Idea.
It's a slate where, once again, the way I have my lineup set up, it's very easy to get to Luka. And first, talking about FanDuel, I know you said that you prefer Steph Curry to Luka before, but at the same time, too, Luka has eligibility at point guard and shooting guard. Steph Curry only as point guard. That in itself makes it easier for me to get to Luka. Then also talking about over on DK, where Steph Curry is and Luka are still just both point guards, but I still have Luka projected for a lot more fantasy points. So to me, once again, I don't think it's difficult to pay up for Curry and Luka in the same lineups with all these crappy players that I'm rostering. But if I'm only playing one, Luka's the preference, and especially on FanDuel where he's eligible at multiple positions.
David Traub, we'll get to that at the center spot. We've got quite a bit of time here before then. We're going through the guard stuff. Butto Jenkins wants to know who your must play is. We'll get to that one here too. Lots to kind of come later on in the show here for sure, but we're rounding out the guard position. We talked about the studs up top. We've talked about the crappy guys at the bottom and the theoreticals that we could have from the Indiana side. Talked about some of the mid-range. Anything else that you find yourself getting to and gravitating to a guard we haven't discussed yet?
Let's see. I mean, Devin Booker is still a really high priority option for me, even relative to what his ownership is. He's put up some massive games lately, coming off a 71 fantasy point game against the Spurs. Games before that, he put up big fantasy nights against the Pistons and against the Pacers. just considering not only how well Devin Booker is playing right now, but how high his usage rate is. So we've now seen him with a usage rate over 30% in something like 9 of his last 10 games. With this volume of shots that we're seeing Devin Booker put up, he's somebody in the upper end of the mid-range that I really like getting to. And I do prefer Devin Booker to Chris Paul today.
All right, guys, that's the guard position. If you guys have any other questions, obviously super chat us. We're going to move on to forward though here for now. Keep it on moving, but Awesemo Plus some tools and content. That's what you want to be checking out. We have the boom bust tool, which again, if you're going to be playing a bunch of Pacers value, I have a feeling they're not going to be jumping to the top. You have to make some assumptions on some of these slates. You got to make some big stands. I'm definitely got some stands coming up at center. There's no doubt about that, but $29.95 for the best projections, best minutes projections, best player projections, best ownership projections. You will find anywhere bar none. $29.95 here right now. Take advantage of that here. I know that this NBA Live code is going away, so you're going to want to take advantage here of a lot of this Awesemo Plus stuff that we have going here. $4.95 for the weekly package as well. Lineup Builder is super, super useful, especially if you're, a 3-max player and you're looking for some contrarian ranking stuff for NFL as well. Check out everything we have behind the paywall there today. Free tools, NBA main slate ownership projections, NHL main slate ownership projections. And then, of course, if you're sitting there in the old state of New York, BetMGM, you want to be going up and signing up through that at OddsShopper, oddshopper.com. The best place to go find some props. We'll be discussing them throughout the show like we always do, because again, OddsShopper makes it so easy to find profitable bets in an instant for everything NBA, NFL related. Adding PGA here sometime soon. So you're going to want to be on the lookout for that as well. God, I could have used that for this week. I think Danny Lee's going to actually save my ass in one lineup. So might have something that kind of bails out my week because, oh my God, Matt Wolf, Gary Woodland, thanks for coming. But let's keep it going to the forward spot. Man, I'm really coming off of Adam. I don't feel like I need to do any silliness today. I don't need to add anything in the silliness department here to Awesemo.com. He covered it well for everybody involved, but on the top end here, we've got some studs to pay up for. Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, both their 9,100, 8K respectively on DraftKings.com. Kristaps Porzingis is somebody I always feel like you gravitate to be a little bit over the field on from doing shows together. He's at a really good price point, might be getting slept on a little bit. The minutes have started to trend back up. Can he play 30 plus in back-to-back games? We shall find out. But who sticks out to you at the top end of forward, Greg?
So this is going to be different, FanDuel versus DraftKings, and just starting with FanDuel. It's so hard to get away from Julius Randle because we had the same situation the other day when the Knicks were playing on the 2-game slate and there was no power forwards to roster. Now the situation isn't quite the same today because we have 2 power forwards to roster in Julius Randle and Kristaps Porzingis, but there's such a big drop off after those guys that it's hard not to prioritize both of them. So we have scrolling at power forward on FanDuel. There's Julius Randle, there's Kristaps Porzingis. The next most expensive power forward is Herbert Jones, and he is way overpriced at $5,800. Or actually, what is the price point on Kuminga? Was Kuminga a little bit higher?
I don't know, but everybody should smash the like button. Jordan, are we going to have a special guest? Is that going to be happening? Do we know? No, right. Kuminga's at small forward. That's why.
Kuminga's at small forward. He's power forward only on DK. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I got tripped up. But either way, a power forward on FanDuel, just most of my lineups have Randall and Porzingis. And I find it to be unavoidable because the rest of the options are so crappy. If I'm going to somebody else, my next most rostered power forward right now on FanDuel is Mikal Bridges. But once again, not somebody I'm super crazy about rostering. So Julius Randle to me just totally unavoidable piece on FanDuel, especially when he's still priced at 8,700.
Okay. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's sub 50% over there too, which is, or right at just above 50%, 56.2. Yeah, I'm going to pretty much have all of it. I find no way around it. Luka Doncic, and you can play him point guard, shooting guard, just looking at him compared to the rest of the studs. I mean, you're looking at a $2,200 discount going down to Randall on FanDuel. That's drastic. And then obviously Steph Curry's $600 less than Luka. I guess that's why I'm getting to the surprising amount of Steph that I am, plus more swappability. Kristaps Porzingis, how do you feel about him on this slate?
I mean, just the same thing I basically just said, which is there's no other power forwards to roster on FanDuel, so I feel like I'm kind of forced to play him there.
Yep.
I'm talking about him over on DK, though, where he's at 7,600. I still like him. He played 33 minutes yesterday. I'm a little concerned that we'll see decreased minutes on the tail end of a back-to-back, but FanDuel, just because of the limited amount of options, you don't even need a ceiling game from him. He might score 30 fantasy points and be optimal just because the options are so weak.
All right. Anybody else? There's some guys here in this mid-range of ownership. Mikal Bridges, he's down to 4,700. Kevon Looney is 4,900. I'm kind of prioritizing Looney because it just gives me another roster spot to maneuver around lineups as I see fit in that late night hammer. If you want to play Bridges, again, he's going to play a boatload of minutes. We have him projected for 34 and a half here at Awesemo. I think that sounds about perfect. So, I mean, it's a lot of minutes, but the guy just 0.7 fantasy points per minute. Nothing is overly intriguing about him. Do you kind of have any kind of a preference in this 4K range on who to go to at forward?
Let's see. So 4K range of forward and for DK, you mean?
For FanDuel. I was looking at FanDuel.
Okay. So FanDuel in the 4K range, first at power forward. I mean, I said Mikal Bridges is my next most rostered power forward, but I'm still underweight to field on. I'm way underweight to field on Looney as well. Looking at small forward guys in the 4K range. Got Mikal Bridges as 4K, but other than that, like I like Brissett a lot. He's 3,700 on FanDuel. Jeremy Lamb's 3,500 with shooting guard and small forward eligibility. Neither Brissett nor Lamb are picking up any kind of significant ownership for the size of this slate because, once again, most people are assuming that Brogdon and or LeVert are both going to play. Most people are projecting it that way. I am not. That's where I'm different right here. But my lineups are pretty geared towards being stars and scrubs, just given how much exposure I have to these cheap Pacers guys. So generally at power forward, I'm paying up. And then at small forward, I'm just going cheap with guys like Brissett and Lamb, or I pay up with Brandon Ingram in some of my lineups. But in terms of the 4K range, not really anybody I'm prioritizing because I have Brissett and Lamb projected better than basically everybody in the 4K range.
All right. We've got 2 super chats. I'm going to do this one first. What's up with the random 69 soul? Go through the box score, Ryan. I am fucking good at golf. Congratulations, but good work. Jordan Klein, can I get a
Wait,
producer
what?
cam head shake? Yeah. Maybe. No. Yeah. Confirmed. Good at golf. There you go. Thanks though. I had one bad tournament period. Couldn't make a putt. Literally shot a zillion. Windy. Not fun. That's one tournament. I'm going to live. Zach McMurray. How much Torrey Craig is too much? Yeah, it's fine. Just working through some putting stuff. It'll be all right. I'm striping it. I'm fine. Zach McMurray. How much Torrey Craig is too much Torrey Craig on FanDuel? Appreciate the help, fellas. $5. Make you holla. How do you feel about Torrey Craig over on FanDuel?
I like Torrey Craig a lot on FanDuel. He is in about 40% of my lineups. And that's assuming that there's going to be no Brogdon LeVert once again. That number is going to go down if those guys end up playing. But he's a very high priority play for me on both FanDuel and DraftKings. Okay.
He's really a priority period. I think he's probably one of the most immune to any kind of news you're getting. Boom bust tool, he's pretty flat, 28.8% ownership, 27% optimal percentage. And then, yeah, we're looking at Goga, somebody that there's positive leverage to be had. Some of these other Indiana pieces are going to come in way under owned to their optimal percentage. If you get that confirmed Brogdon out, if you get the confirmed Karis LeVert out. So be on the lookout for that for sure. Anything else for you on the forward position? Because we have guys like Jeremy Lamb that I'm sure you're probably prioritizing in some kind of an amount. Jonathan Kuminga is somebody who's at 5,900 on FanDuel, which is just really ridiculous and hard for me to get to. Much more of a talking point, 4,300 over on DK. Any other forwards that's really sticking out to you, Craig?
Let's see. So other guys that I'm getting to, we've gone over all the forwards that are pretty much important to me on FanDuel, my forward exposure over on DK. Still a lot of the same guys: Lamb, Craig, Duarte, Ingram, Randall, Porzingis, Brissett, Craig. So we could talk about Kuminga now on DK, the difference between him on DK and FanDuel. And Kuminga is somebody who I'm going to end up getting to a pretty good amount of. But with that said, I have these Pacers guys projected higher than him right now. So one thing I do think is going to happen is if we find out that Brogdon and or LeVert are playing and I have to lower my projections for the Pacers guys, then I'm going to end up swapping onto a lot more Kuminga than what I have right now. But he's a good value play, really, no matter what on DK. What do you think of his price point on FanDuel, though? Is it still worth getting to him there for you?
5,900, not a priority. You might get into him in a couple lineups, but I'm playing my normal 50 allotment there. I'm just not going to get to him very much. It'll be around 10% maybe. I will say the one nice thing is that if you get some Kuminga and you get one of those guys ruled in, you at least have some more upside existing there. There's no Otto Porter. Chris Duarte's $800 less. You can probably maneuver it around. For me, I want to ask you about what you're doing with a guy like O'Shea Brissett here, who I'm kind of assuming is going to take a big jump in minutes regardless of anything here. I have him for 26 minutes, 25 minutes we have here at Awesemo. He's one of my highest rostered forwards, period, at 3,700 on FanDuel. Are you with me?
Yeah, I've been banging the drum. I've Brissett project for over 30 minutes, and I think even if Brogdon and LeVert were to play, I still think they start Brissett at center just for this reason. And this was logic that I brought up earlier today when I was talking to Adam. Is if you're the Pacers and you're in what's close to a no-win scenario, you're going to be a massive underdog in the game. Your chances of winning are very, very slim. You want to increase variance as much as possible. And I think the way you do that is just by playing smaller lineups and shoot as many threes as possible. The Pacers are not going to beat the Warriors just straight up in a game. But what they could do is shoot 60 threes and maybe get lucky and hit like 30 of them. And one way you do that is you start O'Shea Brissett at center instead of Goga Bitadze. If there is no LeVert and there is no Brogdon, I think you just start Brissett and Goga together. But yeah, I think Brissett is a very, very good play.
All right. I also wanted to let it be known because I'm thinking about this golf thing. Jordan Klein, much better golfer than what people would expect out of him. I was very, very impressed going down to Newport. Like, dude can hit a golf ball a little bit. I mean, we were hanging down there in some nice weather, hanging out with the fam, doing the thing. So cheers to you. I mean, it was a little bit of a struggle for all of us, that front nine, but man, did he get it going there on that back nine. He just started hitting some darts. And I will say, very, very impressive off the tee. So Jordan Klein definitely outperformed expectations. No doubt about it. Thumbs up to the producer.
How bad, Jordan, how bad did Eric play that he keeps making these excuses in a golf round that nobody else knows happened?
I shot like one over. I don't know. It was a couple.
So it wasn't even that bad.
I don't even know what they're referencing. What are they referencing to how bad you are?
Oh, they were talking about somebody's going through my USGA, my GIN number. They're going.
Well, that's not fair. That's not a good sample size.
Yeah, it's a 20-round sample size. I have trophies everywhere in this room. I don't know what you want from me. Played D1 golf. How about you, Ryan? He gave us a super chat. I appreciate you. $5. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you very much. I will wipe my tears with that $5 bill. That's what I'll do. Vavs, Doncic, Brunson, Finney-Smith, Kleba, Porzingis there. Exactly what you would expect. No big deal. Eric, Pro V1X for me. Come up to Park City, Utah this summer, and we'll go out and play around. Okay, I would look for any reason to go to Park City. It's fantastic. High West whiskey. Sign me up for some of that. That is fire, especially the Boo Rye. I mean, the Boo Rye might be one of the best whiskeys I've had under $100 in my entire life, no doubt about it. But anything else for you, Greg, from the forward spot? I think we covered it pretty in depth.
Yeah, there's nobody else I'm really getting any kind of significant exposure to that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the rest of the position here on Yahoo as well. Justin Holiday, $13. Kuminga's $12. Best spot, you can go play him, period, end of story. He's almost like unavoidable for me there. We will be talking a lot about this Yahoo slate. Go ahead.
Are you getting to just a ridiculous amount of Kuminga?
Yeah, $12. I don't have a lineup without him at $12.
Okay. And then also just kind of curious. So the way you have your lineup set up right now, and I know you said you're playing some lineups, you're making some assumptions that Brogdon's in and LeVert's in some lineups and some where they aren't. So how much are you playing LeVert then? Because we never really talked about this before.
Okay, so I'm playing him in 1/3 of my lineups right now. And I think with Steph Curry, you have, as long as you've got like a lineup where you've got 2-3 other Pacers, which I think if you get stuck with Pacers, it's not the worst thing on this slate. Obviously it's not going to be as beneficial as if you get everybody out there, but I'm legitimately looking at it as something where I have no problem whatsoever getting to, the O'Shea Brissetts of the world, the Torrey Craigs of the world. The thing is, you want to have access to some of the other guys that are going to come in way, 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 way lower owned, like Jeremy Lamb. I suppose he's somewhat owned over on FanDuel, considering he's already 3,500 there. So I don't have a problem with it. Chris Duarte, you shouldn't have a problem getting to any of them. Like these other ancillary options, it should be easy to mix and match them with the absence of Sabonis, and shouldn't be too hard to also fit in some other guys on FanDuel, like a Malcolm Brogdon, 6,600. If he ends up, for whatever reason, which would be absurd to me, he ends up playing here tonight. But Karis LeVert, I have him in 1/3 of lineups. I went to Cruncher and I gave him a boost where anybody that appears in a lineup with him, I capped him at 33%. And I said, anybody that appears in lineups with him gets a decrease of 25% off the projection that I made for them, assuming that he's out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I understand the logic there. Once again, I made my lineups assuming there's going to be no Karis LeVert. We'll see. Do you have any concerns that he could play and be restricted, though?
That would be the worst part of it all. I would say no. I mean, he looked so good at the end of that Laker game. Maybe I'm just kind of looking at last night, and he went a little bit berserk to close out that game. Only played 27 minutes, which was really nice to see. Like that, it's kind of the same thing where you had Mike Conley out the other night, and it was a spot where you only had to play 23 minutes against Denver because they were just murdering them. And then they were able to just kind of play him a limited amount, which allowed him to play on the back-to-back for the first time in a while. And I think it's something where if he had played like 39 minutes, which we've seen of him, and it had been a close game, I would say, yeah, they're probably going to be sitting him here in this spot. But he only played 27. He looked really good at the end of that game. He had a 34% usage rate. He really took over 12 for 16. Could not have shot it better in that fourth quarter. I don't know. Something just tells me that I don't want to completely write him off of this slate the same way that I'm just writing off Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think there's more upside in LeVert than there is Brogdon. I just feel, for whatever reason, I feel pretty confident that he's not going to play. And sometimes those are the stands we take, and one that could certainly go poorly, but it is what it is. I just looked at the injury report, and it's so sketchy to me because LeVert's not actually injured, right? He's not dealing with any injury. He was fine last night. Why list him on the injury report?
Yep. It's a good point. I mean, again, that's the freaky thing, but it might be something where they're just figuring out how he's feeling. They can kind of just make it a game time decision if they want to punt it or if they don't. It's just such a weird spot. Obviously, they're 13-point dogs. Nobody expects them to go out and win this game, but Karis LeVert in the bubble, I brought this up on Twitter with you guys too, where Karis LeVert in the bubble could go out and win people basketball games by himself. So I've seen it before with him. If he's healthy, if he's good to go, I can't imagine they wouldn't just say, hey, Karis, go out. If you can play that first half, and if we're down 20, maybe they can limit him in that capacity. But, I'm willing to just have a third of my lineups. Just what's your opportunity, or sorry, not what's your opportunity cost, but what's your risk tolerance in this spot? I'm pretty willing to inherit a bunch of risk with Karis LeVert. At least a third of my lineups. I'm not going to play him in every lineup that I've got. It's not a full allotment. I think that I'm still going to be building with that Indiana value in mind here, but there's enough pieces that we can mix and match in the event that he's ruled out. Yeah, you're probably going to be leaving 1,000 or something plus on the table on FanDuel. It's going to be hard to just get up to Steph in every single one of those spots, but you can find some ways around so long as you just get exposure to it, period. So I think that's kind of the end of it. Anything else you want to add?
No, I just kind of want to, I was just kind of, because I had talked about how I wasn't playing LeVert. You said you were. So I was just kind of curious how much, but I think that pretty much covers it. We do some super chats, some questions in Discord we could hit on.
I've got that. Adam Palmer. I was at the Lakers game. LeVert is a beast. Yes. That fourth quarter was really fun to watch. He just kind of took over. Uzi's always hanging out in the chat, and we appreciate you. He's got CPS. I'm assuming that's CP3, KP Kuminga, or Luka, Barrett, or Hart. And Looney single entry, or Hart, Nad, Looney single entry FD. I have no idea how to interpret that one. If you can help me, that would be awesome. Do you see that one, Greg?
Yeah, I'm plugging it into Google Translate right now and just seeing what pops up. All right. CPS, KP Kuminga, or Luka, Barrett, or Hart, and Looney single. Well, this is a tough one to decipher. All right. So he is saying Chris Paul, Kristaps Porzingis, and Kuminga, or Luka, Barrett, and then the other piece could be Hart or Looney.
Okay,
I think.
Yeah, I can't tell. I don't know. Uzi, if you want, single entry FD, CP3 is really, really cheap over there. I find him to be somebody that I'm getting to around the field on. Kuminga is way too expensive, $5,900. So I'm going to look at it in that capacity. Where I would
the
take
Luka
the
side,
one.
the Luka side for me.
That's what I'm going to do for you too. So Luka, and then Hart and Looney. Obviously, they're different price tiers. So the second one, and I think Barrett would be my least favorite piece of the second portion.
Looney's my least favorite part of that.
Okay, 6,500, I guess, is a little bit better tag for him on FanDuel than what we've had before. Starting to come down now that you've got Kemba in the starting lineup. We were just, he's at 7,200 now. He's 6,500. That's going to make him project out better, but he's also popular. Just throwing it out there. Also, just throwing it out there that you need to be playing on Yahoo during this NBA season. You get a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum as a new user. Just sign up, deposit $10 or more, play in any of the paid contests, which the lowest rake, lowest management fee. That's going to help your bankroll go the absolute furthest possible. They also have these massive and I mean massive NFL tournaments on the weekends, you want to be signing up and playing in those because it's like 10, 12% rake compared to 16.5% rake you're seeing in some of the big tournaments on DraftKings and FanDuel. That's more money going back into your pocket over the long term. They have a no rake contest this Sunday. They've had some positive overlay contests where they've just guaranteed overlay in NFL. You want to be playing over on Yahoo now, and this is the best promotion to sign up and get it. Plus, get the $90 Awesemo Plus Platinum month. Easy as that. So we're going to be talking through Yahoo slate for half an hour afterwards. I'm sure I'll be getting made fun of. So it's always going to be good TV after lock. There's no problem about that. You want to be checking that out. It's pretty awesome. But check out Yahoo, our sponsor here of the Live Before Lock show. We appreciate them. You will appreciate them back. You just need to go over there and play. Greg, let's talk center. Center is a very important position, I think, on this slate because you have a guy in Jonas Valanciunas up there who, just from a raw projection standpoint, is almost 10 points more projected than JaVale McGee on DraftKings. But then both of those guys down here on the bottom, JaVale McGee and Goga Bitadze, are the two guys that I'm getting to the most over top of him, especially over on FanDuel. I know Jonas Valanciunas is cheaper over there. Like, I get that. He's 7,300 is his price over there. But this JaVale McGee thing, it's going to pop. I find it hard not to want to play a 22% or play 22% of a guy who's a 1.33 fantasy point per minute player. And I know Biyombo's been serviceable behind him, but it's a matter of time for me for JaVale to go out and play 26 minutes and smash. Are you with me, or are you getting to more Jonas Valanciunas in that tier?
So I am getting, wait, so you said Jonas Valanciunas or Jonas Valanciunas?
Oh, JaVale McGee or Jonas Valanciunas. There's a JaVale and a JVal, and that's normally how I address them, so it's screwing with my brain.
Yeah, so I like Goga more than both of them. Okay. But with that in mind, I'm not convinced Goga starts today. I'm not totally positive it's going to be the case, and I'm going to definitely be dumping Scherer if he doesn't start. As of right now, I do think the most likely outcome is that he starts. I haven't projected with more fantasy points than JaVale McGee. Obviously, I have Valanciunas higher than the both of them, but still, there's a big price discrepancy. So on FanDuel, Jonas Valanciunas is a pretty favorable 7,300 price tag. We still have Goga is down at 5,000, so there's a pretty big price difference between them. And then over on DK, Goga is only 3,700. JaVale McGee is only 4,000. So I do view Valanciunas as a better play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. A lot of my DK lineups have JaVale McGee and Goga Bitadze. Some of them have Bitadze and Bismack Biyombo. That's something else that I think is a talking point is the minutes allocation between JaVale McGee and Biyombo. I have it 24-24 right now between the two of them. I think it's going to be a time split. And I think that particularly on DK, Biyombo is a really good pivot play off of JaVale McGee. But in general, Bitadze is my favorite center option.
All right, we got Brock Linklater, $5, loonies, little loony action. Will Dwayne Washington get any time in the rotation tonight for Indiana?
Let's see. Where will Dwayne Washington get any? Yes, yeah. So right now I have, like I said, I'm assuming that LeVert and Brogdon do not play. If they play, he's not going to play most likely. With both of them out, with me assuming both of them out, I give him 22 minutes.
Colin Richardson said, why did Goga play 3 minutes last game? Because I said that they were going to just play Sabonis. It was one of the more outlier deals where he played 25 minutes. It was kind of a rotation.
Well, it wasn't an outlier. How is he going to guard LeBron James?
That's what I said. The outlier, the Clippers situation, it was just completely different. He played alongside Sabonis, which was surprising, but Sabonis was the only guy that was going to be playing center so long as LeBron was on the floor playing center. End of story. And Dwight Howard started, but that meant that Sabonis matched up against him at the top of the quarters, and then Howard would come off the floor, and they didn't replace him with a backup like DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to remember who even came in for Sabonis after he got hurt.
No, but it was at the very, very end of the game.
It
Sabonis, because it would have been like within the last 2 minutes because I watched all the way up to a minute and a half and then switched the channel.
So here's something else that happened yesterday. Isaiah Jackson was ahead of Goga Bitadze in the rotation.
Interesting.
I think he's somebody else. So to me, Isaiah Jackson is in the same boat as Dwayne Washington and Kiefer Sykes. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think that there's a pretty good chance that if both Brogdon and LeVert are out, we end up seeing like 18 to 22 minutes or so from Isaiah Jackson. Nobody's going to be on him. I'm overweight to the field on Jackson. Not a hard thing to do because nobody's playing him. But he's somebody else who I think There's a non-zero possibility that even if Goga doesn't start, Jackson would be ahead of him in the rotation.
All right, Uzi, once again, sorry for the previous message. Here we go. CP3 Goga or Kemba JVal, FD single entry. Hey, that was so much easier. Thank you so much, my dude.
But those are, am I wrong? Or are those totally different names than we got before?
They are very, very different, but at least this time it's super clean.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that was what the question was last time. Yeah. All right, so that is for me, CP3 and Goga.
All right, beautiful. Let's see. Center position, we talked Jonas Valanciunas. McGee, are you getting to any Bismack Biyombo? Because that was what the question was from Big Shooter. Thoughts on Biyombo on FanDuel?
Yeah, so I talked about him on DraftKings. I didn't talk about Biyombo on FanDuel for this reason. He's very expensive. So I don't think there's a real legitimate upside in playing Biyombo at 5,200 on FanDuel. Hard for me to get to him. Hard pass or easy pass there. DraftKings, totally different story where he's much cheaper. And I do view him as a viable pivot off of JaVale McGee. Wouldn't do it on FanDuel at 5,200.
Would you play McGee and Biyombo in the same lineup?
No.
I wouldn't either. And it's just because even if it's 20, it's not going to be split 24 for 24 more than likely. Somebody's usually going to get 26, 27. The other guy's going to get 22, 21. For me, for that reason, I think that there's enough upside that I would want to go elsewhere, especially because, in that same tier, you have all of these Indiana pieces that, obviously I don't need to play two centers in every lineup. I really don't want to get to two guys that are going to contradict each other quite a bit. And Biyombo, just a lower fantasy point per minute guy traditionally. JaVale McGee has been a monster here, a little less so of late, no doubt about that. But I'm going to be siding more with McGee. I'm okay eating the ownership there and just kind of, I'm just very, very low on getting to like almost no Bismack, even on draft. Well, I'm only playing the one lineup on DraftKings, so I don't want to lie to the people. But FanDuel, I don't even have a need to be playing him on that site.
Yeah, and by the way, we go through this all the time. Don't look at FanDuel and DraftKings for news. People are confused now because FanDuel apparently, and let me see if this is even the case. Apparently, FanDuel has listed DeAndre Ayton as the starter. It's just a crappy source for news. Jesus. They don't do it themselves. They aggregate it, and it's not. It's just. But they actually. So here's even funnier. They have DeAndre Ayton listed as starting and out over on FanDuel. Mm-hmm. He's not playing today. DeAndre Ayton's out. Don't use FanDuel for news. Don't use DraftKings for news.
Literally not in the game. So that's problematic. Probably wouldn't be using that information. I feel bad for people who do click on that, thinking that that's how it works. We have people outside of our bubble that play DFS. I don't really know how without tools and everything this day how to get an edge. But, I feel bad if you see that he's starting on a site and then you click on him and then he's not. Holy crap. Just chat is out of control. This person has to go. Goodbye. There you are. We're continuing on, Greg. Anything else for you at the center position? Any Mitchell Robinson interest? Anybody that you're taking a flyer on anywhere?
So the center position, Brissett's kind of a flyer on DK. He has center eligibility. I think Biyombo is kind of a flyer at center on DK as a pivot off JaVale McGee that we mentioned before. As for other centers, though, I have a very, very small amount of exposure to Mitchell Robinson. I'm still underweight to the field on him. Same for somebody like Dwight Powell. If you took a shot on him, it's not crazy. But really, to me, the centers that I want to play on FanDuel, at least the players with center eligibility, Julius Randle and Kristaps Porzingis, so that's primary at power forward. At center, then, the guys who are actually just pure centers, Valanciunas, Bitadze, JaVale McGee. Over on DK, Bitadze, JaVale McGee, Brissett, Biyombo as a pivot off of McGee.
All right. Love it. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us here on the Live Before Lock show. We've got 9 minutes here going up to lock. We kind of flew through this slate here a little bit. As we're going through, I know that you like to play this game, and I think it's always a good game to play. You're playing a little bit on DraftKings and FanDuel today?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So I'll have you do DraftKings. I'll do FanDuel here. I want you to, we'll go through position by position, talk about who we have the most exposure to. I don't think it should surprise anybody here. Over on FanDuel for me, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, a point guard. Who's your highest owned point guards on this slate on DraftKings?
Yeah, and I could do both. It's not a big deal. And we also still have 8 minutes here. By the way, also, we did get a couple of super chats also.
Cool. We had Jordan Lockhart just saying, hey, sorry, my allergies are just terrible. Saying, hey, thanks for the hard work night in, night out, gents. You are very, very welcome. You're just a stud. So appreciate you. Nick, we've got who is the Eggman follow-up? Who is the Walrus? Who is the Eggman? Who is the Walrus? Is that a riddle?
I think he's talking about a Beatles song.
Yeah, I'm the walrus cuckoo cuckoo. I mean, that's the Beatles song.
It's one of the weirder questions we got because I don't even know what that was supposed to be in reference to. But Beatles out of left field. Why not?
Get Back documentary. Go watch it. Holy mother of God, it's good.
We also had some Discord questions that we could answer here.
Let's do that.
So over in Discord, we have JEW. Any reason why the projections have Kemba at 27 minutes? Figured he'd be up to 32 plus in this game. Yeah, I'm also projecting Kemba to play over 30 minutes today. What did you do with Kemba's minutes?
Let me throw it in here. I have him for 30 minutes. We have him for 29 minutes. So, I mean, it's a minute discrepancy between me. 32 would be a little bit different for sure. Either way, for DraftKings purposes, he is 6,100. I think getting to a lot of stars and scrubs, more of the studs to go with the Pacers value. If you're playing along at home, the way that Greg and I are, that would be kind of more of the path to take. But I understand Kemba, if you're going to be playing on FanDuel, where he is a little bit cheaper, 5,500, just different salary structure, different way that it works out. I understand. I probably would get to a little bit more of him here. I've got 15%, so nothing crazy.
And then we have another question from our guy Rabashua, who said, if you knew that Steph and Luka were going to both have ceiling games, how do you build the rest of your lineup in single entry? Well, first of all, if they're having ceiling games and you're getting like 80 fantasy points out of Luka and 70 out of Steph, so you're playing both of them. Yeah. And then you're just playing all of the cheap guys. For me, it would be Steph, Luka, and then a bunch of cheap guys from the Pacers and JaVale McGee as well.
All righty. Thank you so much to Premium Discord. We got Eddie here. Best two forwards on DKGPP, Greg. Randall, definitely going to be one of them.
Well, for GPP, though, that is Brissett and Lamb for me.
Okay. I guess best two forwards on DK. I mean, I still want Randall and GPPs. I would say that. Yeah. But,
I'm just saying the guys I'm most overweight too.
Overweight too compared to what the field's at. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense going that direction. And Torrey Craig would be. Yeah, it's that whole grouping. But Brissett, Lamb, not owned, confirmed. Let's see. Herb Jones or a Brissett. You're going to pretty much get a Pacers answer from Greg or myself. Any one of those questions, would you agree?
Yeah, Brissett. And then one other question we got here from Tank Forever in our Premium Discord channel. Alexander, Walker, or Lamb for FanDuel min salary option. That is Lamb for me.
Who runs Bartertown? Eric runs Bartertown. I don't know. People are bringing up P again. That is very confusing to me. Again, I'm going back and forth to Discord here again. You talked about that one. Barrett, Luka, or Ingram Booker, Greg. Can we get a site on that? Ozwag from Premium Discord?
It's Ingram Booker for me, regardless of the site.
Okay, perfect. Going back to YouTube chat here. 5 minutes to go. Hey, everybody, get your lineups in. We already did the Hall of Fame in the last show, right? Jordan, thank you. What's so funny? Why are you laughing? What's going on? What did I do? We're very serious today. I don't know if you could tell.
Eric feels like he's really panicking. I don't know if he's dealing with some sort of internal.
Why do I feel like I'm panicking? I don't know. I just there's just people. Sometimes there's people.
Eric has a flop sweat. His toupee is falling off. It feels like he's panicking.
I'm mad today. I'm mad today because I'm sick of stupid people saying stupid stuff. Get off my screen. That's all I'm going to say. And you know who you are. You're going to get banned next time. Throwing it out there.
Oh, I legitimately don't even know what this one is talking about.
Okay,
it could be about me for all I know. As far as I know, I'm the one on the screen, or maybe it's Jordan.
I work way too hard to deal with your bullshit. So stop it. Okay, done.
Eric is serious today.
Crunching lineups. Get them in. 4 minutes to go here.
Now I'm scrolling through chat to try to figure out what this is. Yeah. Is it that it's not the bot who said hi a bunch of times?
It is not the bot. Quack, quack. It is not the bot. Nightbot is just fine today. I'm just sick of shit. Like, here's the thing. I'm profitable at this thing that is DFS. I'm very good at it. I take it very seriously. Yeah. Do I joke around? Do I like to have fun? Absolutely, I do. But I work my effing ass off to make sure that you can make money. You get my best every single show. Has there ever been a show, Greg, that you've ever done with me where you didn't feel I was prepared?
No, I have to be honest. I'm totally confused. I've been reading all the chat messages to know what it was, but
I'm just
guys,
saying the person knows who they are. The thing is, they are a little twat, and I'm just going to disregard them for the rest of their existence. If they ask questions, they're gone. Just sit in the shadows and be quiet. How about that? That's all I
don't know who this is, but I don't like him either. An enemy of Eric is an enemy of mine.
They're going to get the ban hammers. What's going to come up next? And you can watch us on your anonymous little deal. You can go troll me. I don't care. I'm pretty damn good at this. And you can either listen to me and make fun of me, or you can go along with the best tools in the industry. I've been taught by the best players in the industry, Alex Baker, every single day, Steve Buzzard behind the scenes, Sean's on Eddie Lai doing projections. Are you kidding me? This is the best place you can possibly come for content. I am here to help you. And anything you do, trolling and whatever else, you can make fun of me. But when you're being down weird, like mean, and you hit me up on Twitter, or you come up here and chat and you just try to distract me and you piss me off right from the get-go, you're going to get it. Done. End of story.
I don't like this guy either. This guy's no good.
Yeah.
We got a super chat, by the way.
Oh, cool.
James, hey, we love you, Eric. James, hey.
Hey, thank you so much. I love you too.
Oh, look,
Sorry,
Eric pulled out of it really quickly. Somebody gave him some money and he's happy now.
Yeah, it's a guy, Neil. I love you too. You're the best, my dude. Neil Orfield, another just ridiculous top 10, top 20 player in the world. I mean, come on. NK Orfield, if you're not listening to this dude, as good as it gets. But either way, we've got 1 minute. Get your lineups in. Man, all the love. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you. I'm excited to talk a little bit of Yahoo with you guys here as well, because again, I think that they have one of the best products, period, in the entire industry, because lowest rake means more money into your pockets. They're going to have the dollar overlay today. They're going to have the $3 overlay today. They're going to have all of these guaranteed payouts with tons and tons of money that is just free for the taking here today. You want to be playing in that every single day. I promise you, in the long run, that is going to be how you're profitable. But Greg, let's go back to what we were talking about before. I'm sorry that I got distracted.
I'm still confused. We can can just say who we'll go position by position.
If they post, I'm just going to ban them. So you should just not post again. That's what I'll do. That's all I can say. But anyway, let's go guard. Let's go guard, please. And give me your highest owned guards here as we go, because we're officially at lock.
All right. So I'll go. I'm going to do DK. You'll do FanDuel. Before I thought it was like, hey, I could do both sites. We've got 8 minutes to go until lock. And then you ignited, and then we got to lock. So I could just do DK and you could do FanDuel. DK, for me, starting at point guard, the most roster guys have a point guard are Devin Booker and Luka Doncic.
I have that. That's a Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Chris Paul. There you go, over on FanDuel. Pretty simple there. 15% Kemba Walker then. Devontae
Shooting
Graham,
guard for me is Lamb and Duarte. Booker also, but pretty set him there. So Lamb and Duarte.
Torrey Craig, Devin Booker, and then surprisingly enough, Josh Hart. So there you go, 35% of him. But anyway, then we've got a ton of these guys waiting in the wings that, again, Torrey Craig's like a near lock button, and I can kind of like move and maneuver those lineups. To small forward we go. Greg?
Yeah, so small forward, ones I haven't said yet, Torrey Craig and Brandon Ingram. Ingram less so, but I've already mentioned Duarte, Lamb, Craig.
All right, at small forward, O'Shea Brissett, Josh Hart, RJ Barrett, Chris Duarte, all of those guys look lovely. And Jeremy Lamb, of course. To power forward, Greg.
Yeah, power forward, Brissett, Randall, Porzingis. I really like Brissett as a tournament option today. I think that really, even if Brogdon LeVert were to play, which I don't think is going to happen, I would still like Brissett as a lower on play in this spot. But regardless, I think Brissett's a pretty strong option.
Oh, man, you guys are the best. Power forward, Julius Randle, 100%. Just locked him in over on FanDuel. Kristaps Porzingis, Kevon Looney. I like a little bit more than you do for FanDuel purposes, sub 5K. And also can probably maneuver around and get a little bit of Jackson in the event that, that's a thing. But here we go to center, round it out for us, Greg.
Yeah, so at center, by the way, we just got some super chats here too. Just more people who are showing Eric Lindquist love. Anthony Davis, Yo E, that's you, you're E. Never let idiots steal your power. Let haters hate, block them and keep them moving. Love you, E and G. I like
kicker
it.
Kicker of name that is difficult for me to say without saying bad words. kicker of hunts. We'll say that. I will kick them for you, Eric. That is so nice of you. I love that about that.
Another super chat from Cameron Dixon. Hey, Greg, I'm a big fan of what you framed on your wall. What did Jordan Photoshop on the wall?
I don't think he didn't do it. No, I think he's probably referring to your Twitter avatar, right?
Oh,
you
so
got the new
that's
Twitter avatar. It's in the background.
By the way, when we really have to have a debate about who the best producer in the game is, it's always this sliding scale,
Friday.
Where we get some of these things that go back and forth on Live Before Lock. And we had Tyler Zander the other day, real big power play by photoshopping the picture of me in high school in my frame before, which was a really strong move.
Chris Spags, you know how to get to me, my dude. You're going to need a drink as much as Adam during the deep dive after the show. Yeah, I am probably going to have a drink after this one for sure. Rinpack, definitely not Rinpack bullying. We got T McBee, got into Eric's rant that I completely lost track of exposures in my entries. I apologize, my guy. I bet you're good. You're a stud. Cameron Dixon. Hey, Greg, I'm a big fan of what you framed on your wall. Yeah, that's just beautiful. I love it. I have that kind of magical power. We still have 1.7K hanging out here for the Yahoo after party. I mean, that's what this has turned into. It's an after party. It's a vent sesh. You had the pregame earlier, and now we're just raging. We're just here to rage. Let's go. Yahoo. So go sign up over there. I already told you all the reasons. It's been flashed on the screen a million times here throughout the show. 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. That's $90 in your pocket. You basically get to play everything that we have on the site. All of the projections for NBA, NFL, NHL, MMA, PGA, esports. I kind of covered it there. Soccer. We're having soccer stuff really pop up here on the site as well. It is a beautiful time to be at Awesemo. Do it through this promotion. And let's talk through a little bit of Yahoo. As I said, there were a couple plays that I kind of referred to throughout the show. I know you guys wanted to talk about DraftKings and FanDuel, but Yahoo is really where there's some massive stuff at. Another super chat, Andres. Eric helped me take down PGA opening weekend. Love you, man. Keep up the great work. Eric, EMAC 2024. Oh, I'll be his vice president any day. I'm here for that, Greg.
Yeah, I'm not much for politics. I'll give you the role. If EMAC needed a favor from me, I would, but I'm not running on the ticket.
Oh, you're not. Okay. You could be like press secretary.
No. I'm not holding a political position. I'll be friend.
Oh, I just absolutely love that Spags is here hanging out. I just love seeing that guy there. Yeah. Get him, Eric. Hashtag Team Eric from Jordan Young. $1.99. If I ever go busto, I'm just going to come on stream and just rant and get all this super chat love. You guys are way too kind. Ryan Nelson 02. All hail Josh Hart. Also, Eric is loved. Man, you guys are the best. Appreciate you all.
I'll say this. Here's my take from the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
I do not want to get Eric angry if he's ever drunk. That seems like that's a sleeping giant there.
I'm scary when, again, I can 6'2", 200. I can get after it. South Dakota, born bred. I got that corn in me. That's a weird way of putting that. I didn't really like the way that came out.
Okay, never mind. I'm cool with messing with him. He's drunk.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine. Look at Jordan Klein. You're into MMA. Have you ever done any mixed martial arts, Greg? I feel like you have.
I've boxed, but not mixed martial arts. My brother used to train a little bit in high school though, and I went to high school with Mickey Gall, who I think I've told you this story before, but I went to high school with Mickey Gall, who now fights in the UFC. And there was a point in time where we had a boxing tournament at my house when we were in high school. He was there. Somebody threw up in his shoes.
I told you I went to high school. I was in class and buddies with Ben Wen, if you've heard of that name from MMA. Ben Wen. So Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Washington High. What up? He was just the best. Such a good kid. I think he's in Australia now. I hope he's doing well. He's just one of the nicest people. Period. End of story. Sean McCarthy, just 5.00. $10 to say 5.00. I really appreciate you. Can you imagine Eric after a triple bogey? Yeah, it's basically that. No doubt about that. This man gets his feelings hurt quick. He very cool and funny. Great sense of humor. Immense Evans. Thank you. It started. I couldn't tell if that was going to be are we going to give him shit? We're going to be nice. That was great. I really enjoyed. There were some emotions that I went through just reading that. I was like, oh, he was being nice. Appreciate you so much, guys. You're the best. Let's go to Yahoo. I want to give them the attention that they deserve here. They are the sponsor of the Live Before Lock show. They're the reason that I can come on here. And, we had all the range of emotions here on the deeper dive into the Live Before Lock show. Let's give them some love here. Luka Doncic is $50 and Steph Curry's $39 in my allotment of lineups. That was just kind of a hard deal for me to not capitalize and just play more Steph Curry over on Yahoo today. Devin Booker, $36, went a little bit by the wayside. Brandon Ingram. I guess with those other two games locked here, Greg, I mean, Steph Curry at $39, it's really hard to maneuver out of that. But how did you play on Yahoo today? Did you, how good of a price is $39 for that site today?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter because the game is locked. But
yes.
By the way, also I want to follow up. Sean McCarthy did leave a follow-up question for what the super chat message was supposed to be. It was, Eric, I'm a little bit older than you, 47. Oh, look at you, half the age of EMAC. I've learned over the years to just ignore stupid comments. Thanks for all you do.
Oh, look at you. I appreciate it. Here's the thing is I generally do a pretty good job of ignoring it, but when it's time and time again, and it takes away from shows and it distracts me. And I know that you hate me. Like, I just know, and nothing you say is ever nice to me. Like, legitimately, it's a distraction and it takes away from everybody else's experience, which is me trying to help you. And it's like, there's a lot of other things I could do with my days, but I love this job. One, because I get to talk sports and fantasy sports, which are just like the greatest loves of what I have outside of, family, outside of friends. Like, I just love sports, but basically I get to also coach, and I love coaching. I love teaching. I love helping people get better at stuff or recognizing what the tools are trying to teach you, because we have the best tools here. I think we have the best analysts here. I think we have the sharpest minds in the DFS industry here. And when you start doing things that take away from that and then just are basically attacks on me personally, I'm not okay with it, and I'm done with it. I'm just done tolerating it. If you do it once or twice, and I know that you're being good-hearted about it, whatever. But otherwise, I just need to shut it down because I don't have time for it anymore. I just don't.
I love Lamp. It's all different, right? We have different inspirations. We have different loves in life. Yeah. And another one, we've got Eddie Sedja said he went to high school with Eric, and we played Spin the Bottle. Oh my God! Look at you and Eddie.
How is the last name pronounced? Seha?
Well, there's no tilde, so I just said Sedja.
Sedja. I think.
But then there'd be a tilde.
Yeah.
Then he spelled it. If I don't know if the audience could hear Eric right now, but if Eddie's name is Seha and not said, then he spelled his name incorrectly.
Mm-hmm. I love big butts. I cannot lie. Thank you, Blank. That is very important. You demand, Eric. Very, very kind of you guys. But yes, Steph Curry, $39 was very hard to get away from on Yahoo today. We have a number of different plays down in this mid-range. Karis LeVert, $28. He was kind of a riskier option there. Malcolm Brogdon at $29. You could build with a $199 cap and make sure that you could get to one of those two. That's kind of the way that I would go about building on Yahoo. But Chris Duarte, $17. That's a guy that could really, really vault up the board in the event that you get both of those guys ruled out, which I know Greg is just assuming is going to be happening there. I'm 50-50 on LeVert. I definitely think Brogdon is going to be out. We're definitely going to agree on that one. But what kind of sticks out to you in this mid-range cheaper out of these Indiana pieces over on Yahoo?
Yeah. So, the other thing too is let me sort this just by our projected ownership. But right now we have LeVert projected being 24.6% of lineups. Torrey Craig, 19.6. By the way, also the ownership projections are free over on Awesemo.com today. So you guys want to check out and see some of those as well. So Brissett, very clearly a strong option made, 14.8%. The other one too, Jeremy Lamb projected at 10% over there. That's something else that I really gravitate towards. Like I said, Lamb played a bunch of minutes yesterday. I think that people are going to end up sleeping on him if Brogdon and LeVert are out.
See, this is the kind of trolling that I'm here for. Kimberly Santos. I find Eric annoying myself, but I know he's good at what he does. Like, that is genius. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm just here for. That's hilarious. I find myself annoying sometimes. Find it impossible that Greg wouldn't find me annoying sometimes. Jordan Klein.
No. I could do without the singing, but I love Eric.
Let it go. Let it go.
What's up with this P thing?
I
don't understand this P thing.
I don't understand it at all, dude. It is blowing. Rinpack is now just trolling as well. I mean, pushing P, it's like P is good, but it's like, but P is P. And then I had Jordan Klein send me this TikTok that is the rapper who came up with pushing P or P and trying to explain it. And he's like, does it mean that it's good? He goes, no, it's P. but what's P? And then I don't know what P is. And it's like a whole thing. Go to TikTok, like where the kids hang out. You can maybe learn about it, but I don't know. I'm just taking it that P is P.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly established ourselves as hip right now. I'm going to. Here's what I have a sister in college.
I'm hip.
I'm going to text her and we'll see if she could explain to me what it means.
Don't just look at me like I'm freaking Frankenstein. Throw your father in here.
Texted my sister. I'll see if we get an answer in the next 18 minutes. I'll be able to read it off, but I have no clue what's going on. Apparently, yeah, we got Omar Boss saying Jordan is cultured more than us. Eric and I are the lamest people possible.
I love this show. You guys are next level. Let's see. Quack. Yeah, Eric went off the rails. Always. Jordan is cultured. Yes, he is. Jordan Klein knows the finer things in life. I will tell you this much. Jordan Klein is the guy you want decorating your apartment. I can tell you this much. He's going to make some lady very, very happy one day. T McBee, at least there's one to just getting completely trolled by T McBee. Oh my God. What a day. I don't even know what to say. Pushing EMAC.
Like for EMAC, but EMAC just thinks we're talking about when he gets kidney stones. Yeah, EMAC's like, I get kidney stones all the time.
I wish I could push P.
Yeah, EMAC's just like, I hate when that happens to me.
Jordan Klein is dead. Oh my God. EMAC 2024. I will be your vice. Let's get this done. Let's get it on the
by the way, my sister who's in college, I asked her what is pushing P. Pushing P said, she said, no idea. I've heard it's having money.
Oh, pushing P. Let's go. That's incorrect. Right. That's incorrect from Jordan Klein. Producer Cam comes in, says that's no. So Jordan Klein confirmed calling Greg's sister a liar. That's what just happened.
Yes. I think she just thought she's not cultured. I don't think that she's a liar. She's just not cultured. Like
have
Jordan
some respect for the culture. Yes, absolutely.
All right, back to Yahoo, everybody. Which again, 1 free month of Awesemo plus Platinum. I don't know why you wouldn't sign up. If this show is not giving you incentive, just go over there and sign up $10 and hang out with us here at Awesemo behind the paywall in premium Discord every day. I don't know what possibly could else sell you on that because it's just fun trolling. It is madness here. It's having your own money. If it's money, it's like playa. It's like nobody in chat knows the exact answer either. I tried to find the answer and it threw me down a wormhole, like a rabbit hole of like, I have no idea, but such is life. Julius Randle, $37. He was the best play, but also the most popular. I felt like over on Yahoo for today. It was pretty easy to get up there at the position. Don't forget, the positionality is a strict thing on Yahoo where you can only play one player there at power forward. And it was Randle and then Porzingis. Brissett is $10. I found him to be an important character, a part of playing over there today, over on Yahoo as well. I thought that gave you some good savings. And then Jonathan Kuminga, another piece that I just wanted to get to a lot of. He's small forward eligible, which made it very easy to roster him. Greg, what sticks out to you at forward over on Yahoo?
All right, so I just have Indiana filtered right now. So making sure I could see everybody now over on Yahoo. And
it's a little bit different just because you have the floor pieces to go. And if you pay up ceiling of Curry and Luka Doncic, obviously there's some center plays. If you don't play Jonas Valanciunas at $31, they're all cheap. And it just made it pretty easy to go down there and play JaVale McGee at $15 and move on with your day.
Yeah. So, I mean, talking about Kuminga's $12 on Yahoo, which is different than what even on DraftKings, where he was very cheap or still is very cheap at 4,300. That's still different than $12. That's the equivalent of him being like 3,500 or something like that on DK. So $12, I think pretty clearly makes Kuminga the best forward option. I was talking about how much I like some of those cheap forwards from the Pacers, but also keep in mind, we're talking about them on FanDuel compared to Kuminga on FanDuel. There's a massive price difference. We're talking about thousands of dollars. And same on DK. The difference from Kuminga to Jeremy Lamb is $1,300. It's a different situation when he's just the same price as these guys.
All righty. Well, yeah, I'm with you. I think that Kuminga, $12, you just impossible to get away from there. Center position over there, Jonas Valanciunas. We got 13 minutes to go. We'll talk some Yahoo. we'll react to some of the games going online and live and see. I mean, obviously, I don't expect that Indiana news. I do want to rehash the situation because I think it's a great parting gift to everybody, the 1,000 people who stuck out the end of this entire show, that hung out, talked a lot of Yahoo with us. I think it's a good time to talk a little bit more about that Indiana situation at the end. But center over on Yahoo, you had Jonas Valanciunas, $31. I don't think there was any question that from a raw projection standpoint, he would be your top guy. But I liked McGee a lot at $15. Kevon Looney, $12 is maybe a little bit different, but you liked Goga more than all those guys. $12 for Goga. Would that be your go-to on Yahoo today?
So let's see, talking about center, and I mean, obviously we can't swap to players who have already gone and been underway, but JaVale McGee's at $15. Like you said, Valanciunas at 31. You know what's weird to me? Goga with the same expected ownership as Looney. I way prefer Batadze to Looney, with both of them being the same price. So overall, including just overall expected amount percentages each of these guys are going to be in the lineup, it's hard for me to not consider Batadze to be the highest priority. Certainly of the guys we have left, it's Looney, Batadze. The only other center is Juan Toscano Anderson. I kind of hesitate to even bring his name up because that opens up a whole other.
You're a brave man,
another can of worms.
Yeah,
but Batadze certainly of the ones that are left.
All right, that's going to be the center position for you too. You need to play a Yahoo. I've brought it up a million times here. You also, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be behind the paywall for one free month. Just $10. $10 gets it done for you. Playing in any of the paid contests. Boom, done. Let's see. Ingram has Flames. Yes, that would be good. Oh, R. Kelly's I Want to Pee on You from the Chappelle Show. That's exactly what I thought of it. Drip, 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 pee on you. I want.
Yeah. By the way, I looked up Pushing P, and I was not thrilled with the answers that came up. There were some videos I didn't want to see, but I do have Urban Dictionary up, and here we go. This is all right. According to Urban Dictionary, Pushing P is slang popularized by Atlanta rapper Gunna, which means pushing pressure. One of the ways you can be pushing P is by having money. Oh, Jordan Klein calling my sister a liar. But no. Just based on that being the first thing there, I think
multiple interpretations. Jordan Klein, continue, Greg. It's fine.
Where's a better place to get my pop culture information from than Urban Dictionary, Jordan Klein?
That's a great question.
But how do I look up stuff on TikTok? Pushing P. All right, let me finish reading. One of the ways you could be pushing P is by having money or owning things versus renting them.
I dig that.
Pushing P, the second definition on Urban Dictionary, buying something with your own money, cashing out, spending hard money. P don't just mean playa, it means paper too.
Look at that. Jordan Klein, confirmed. Incorrectly called Greg Ehrenberg's sister a liar. I think you should apologize on producer cam right now.
What do you think the definition is? What do you think the definition is, Jordan?
What does P mean, Jordan? Get on producer cam. Explain what P is to the people. They need to know.
I can't. If you're P, you know you're P, and if you're not, then you know you're not P.
This is the biggest cop-out answer ever.
No,
Jordan Klein
what are you talking about?
Clue.
That's absolutely correct. If you're P, you're gonna know you're P, and if you're not, then you don't need to even ask what it is.
Wow. If you're in the Illuminati, you don't have to ask what the Illuminati is.
Jordan has no clue. He's just using terms not knowing what it is. He just calls everything pushing P up there. We've got Adam Palmer saying debt generates wealth, LLC eliminates risk. Sounds to me like Adam Palmer is pushing P.
He's pushing P. He's pushing P hard. Tim, if paper beats rock, rock beats scissors, and scissors beats paper, what beats all three at the same time? A bomb.
That's true. You know what else wins all the time? Rock.
Rock is pretty great.
Yeah, rock. Kind of bullshit that paper beats rock. Not in my game. Rock beats paper.
Yeah,
you're going to war with a piece of paper. I'm going to war with rock. I'm winning all day.
Yeah,
rock wins no matter what.
Oh, you're going to cover me with your paper? Best of luck to you. I'm rock. I'm not going anywhere. We ain't going nowhere because we're bad boys for life. Also, on Yahoo NFL, they have that 4-game Saturday deal. They have an everyone wins contest. They have the everyone wins baller for that Saturday as well. I'm looking at this NFL, though, this 2-game slate, no fee, no rake. legitimately no rake. If you want to play somewhere for $20, if you're going to put $20 into play where there's zero rake in the contest, 12.5K there for that Saturday deal. Same contest exists for that Sunday too. So it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Definitely want to be signing up, playing at Yahoo, and having the opportunity to play with no rake. Look at that. Beautiful contest. Jordan Klein pulling it up there on the screen. Yes, I'm pushing P. $20 there for the Saturday baller. No big deal. Just 0% rake. Just sign up for that. Looking at this entire board here for NFL, very excited for these contests, excited for the opportunity to play over there. I'll also say the You Play We Match, don't forget about those. Those have kind of been overlaying a little bit here in some spots too, but you play in it for $15, but you get a $15 site credit back in the event that you don't cash. That's free. So if you're going to just put, put $15 on, play in that, and it's still going to be site credit that you can go and put back into play. So that's another just version of a zero rake contest. Saturday baller, the You Play We Match doesn't get any better. Play those two for $35, and I guarantee you'll have a better investment than you will playing any other two lineups in like a Millie Maker or going over to FanDuel and putting like three lineups in their main iteration. Zero rake is a gigantic deal, Greg.
For sure. And something else too, I think we should be sweating the games a little bit too, just looking over and tilting what's going on, because I think we're going to be happy. I think we're going to be happy with what's going on today, especially if you're holding out some hope for the later lineups. The Knicks Pelicans game, there's 5 minutes left in the first quarter. The score is 14-6.
That's beautiful.
There is not much going on there. We have the high score for the Knicks is Kemba Walker with 4. RJ Barrett, scoreless. Julius Randle, scoreless. Evan Fournier, scoreless. Not much going on there. Pelicans side of the game. Brandon Ingram, 5 points, 2 assists, and a steal. Herbert Jones is actually playing fairly well to start. 4 points, 2 assists, and a steal. Nothing going for Devontae Graham. Nothing going for Josh Hart. Suns Mavericks. Big start for Devin Booker. 10 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Chris Paul, 2 points and 2 rebounds and 6 assists. No points in the first 7 minutes. From Dallas, 6 points and 2 assists from Luka. He's on the bench. He did his first rotation. Porzingis off to a solid start. 6 points, 3 rebounds, and assist, and a block. Kristaps Porzingis pushing P.
B Church, $5. I need Nag to teach the class one term from Urban Dictionary each slate. Absolutely. Does anybody remember Mad TV Ebonics? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Hey,
that needs to be a bit. That is the new bit. What a great super chat. B Church, you win this show. Period. End of story.
All right, 1 sec. I'm going to. Can you talk for a second, Eric?
Yes, absolutely. I will. 5 minutes to go here, everybody, of this show. We have gone through the absolute ringer here. And again, I respectfully appreciate the person who I do see kind of being a better human being now. So, as long as you exist, that's great. You can exist. Just don't be a twat. That's the end of the story. Mad TV. Yeah, Greg used it perfectly. He crushed that reading there of pushing P. I think, we got to be careful because, we can get super chats. People can recommend what they want to have read. That could be something, or it could be something where Greg just decides what it's going to be ahead of time. But, we want to make sure that we're very specific about this, or, we have our group chat. We could come up with a term for the day that he has to work into shows. And, you win.
All right. Word of the day on urbandictionary.com, pushing P. I found out my favorite definition here. It's more than a couple of words or applying pusher. Pushing P is a lifestyle, a whole way of living. Using pushing P in a sentence, girl, damn, you see that Montclair coat he wearing? I think his parents bought it. Nah, bitch, that boy pushing P. There we go. That is our educational moment of the show.
Sure. Oh my God. With the filter, Greg, you're too good, man. Spags should be proud of this show. If he's still hanging out watching, there's no show that we've done that honors Spags more than this one. We've gone off on YouTube chat. We've done silly voices. We've done bits. We've incorporated new bits. We've created bits about bits. I mean, this is truly the most Chris Spags. This is our homage to the man himself, Spags. Check out Splash Play, his podcast. It's absolutely hilarious. Him with some other guys around the fantasy industry. He's just good people. So there you go. 3 minutes to go here. I'm looking back at these games, 14-10. That is just beautiful looking at that Pelicans game. 2 fouls for Brandon Ingram. Be paying close attention to that, obviously. Jose Alvarado checking in. Why is this guy checking in with 4 minutes left in the first? That is one of the more mysterious things that I've seen, is him just entering the rotation. Again, Impact just basically saying that they're rewarding hard work down in New Orleans, because it makes no sense, some of the rotations that they've been running out. I think that's the perfect way to describe it. But Chris Paul, 7,800, 11.4 over on FanDuel. That's going to be useful. Sponsor Yahoo. Chris Paul wasn't necessarily like a priority for me over there at $33 when you have Steph for $39. But I digress. He's off to a decent enough start. Oh, that was a great.
You know what we made here. Here's the error we made. That should have been the sign off, because it's very hard to do another even 3 minutes. It's hard to do after that. But Anthony Davis did leave us a super chat. Jesus, take the wheel. Just means keeping it real. 100 comedy gold. Thank you, Anthony Davis. We appreciate you,
dude. He signed off yesterday with a $50 super chat. Signing off today with a $25 super chat. This guy, he is personally funding all of our Christmas bonuses. Like, this guy, Anthony Davis, is just flat out pushing P. No doubt about it.
For sure.
Anthony Davis pushing P.
Well, yeah, I like how we made this a little more educational, because I think that people should become, a little smarter when they watch the show. They should be able to come away from this and go to their family and say, I learned something valuable today, which I think they did in class.
We need a title card for this. It's Greg's Urban Dictionary word of the day. We need a title card. This needs to be added. He's going to flash it. It needs to flash up on the screen randomly, but it has to be when we hit a certain likes threshold. So everybody smash that like button. We'll figure out what that likes threshold is. And when we do, confetti will go off and we'll have the thing come up on the screen where Greg reads his word of the day. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. And also I'll make sure to use it in a sentence as well, because I like using it in a sentence.
Let me say something. This is the most un-P thing that we've ever seen. And I just wanted to say that.
What's not P about it? I'm confused.
Jordan, look at us right now. Look me in the eye and tell me I'm not pushing P at this moment.
I'm pushing P too.
Yeah, look at us. Look at us. P. Look at us. I have to looking through the settings in Zoom and finding these video filters is probably the worst thing I've ever done, but at the same time, massively important. Guys, do us a favor, like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done it already, because how could you miss out on this?
All right, we're going to get ourselves out of here, gentlemen. We are absolutely pushing P on this stream. Thank you so much to Jordan Klein, the Wizard of Klein, behind the virtual glass, and now in front of it too. All for our enjoyment, all at our behest. Thank you so much, Jordan Klein. You're the absolute man. Thank you to Greg for his geniusness when it comes to coming up with bits on the fly. I think this is going to be a keeper. This one's a keeper, no doubt about it. I got to remember who it was that whenever I see him, we need to thank him. B Church, you are now a YouTube chat legend, no doubt about it. He's Greg Ehrenberg at Ehrenberg DFS. Any final words for the people?
No, just good luck today, guys, and keep on the lookout for the Pacers news. It's going to be important.
All right, and thank you so much to Yahoo for supporting this crazy little stream that we got going. We're out of here. We're going to go join Adam at the bar. We'll see you later.